sonic save of Be Grace. You have the honor.
Welcome to the stream. Good to see you. How lined up are we? Not terrible. Not that. It's been worse. Uh-oh. Where'd Spotify go? There it is. Hello. Good to see you. Welcome to the stream. I always wonder if I should end the song, like just let it end naturally, but it was getting a little repetitive. You know what I mean? It was a little little samey, you know. So I'm like, you know what? We're done. We've heard all this song has to offer. Hello, Zach. Hello, Quiz. Challenge to the Realm cards in today. Yeah, nice. That's cool. Are you gonna show them off? You can take some pictures. I mean, yes, musicians like repetitive. Christian musicians particularly. Boy, do they like repeating themselves. Good to see you, DJ. Hello, Ferric. Hi, Supersonic. Opening the box live. Oh, sick. That's cool. Today, are you streaming today? And how packed are you? Given a scale of 1 to 10, how packed are you? I'm gonna go with 10%, and that was what it was packed already. That you hadn't unpacked yet from last time you moved. We're today, yeah, talking about Aura, right? We're gonna talk about Aura. There's a video that came out that from Dr. K, I think his name. Anyway, Healthy Gamer GG, and he's and it should be interesting. I was recommended to give it a watch because it's a little weird. So I'm looking forward to seeing what it's all about. I'm trying to turn off notifications because for some reason it just turned them all on, and I don't know what's the deal. I think I'm turning off all notifications. Yeah. Notifications off. No notification. Do not disturb is on. Okay. Leave me alone. Everybody, every program, leave me alone. Continue. Oh, open the box. Assume things continue as they are already. Okay, cool. Fire out. Yeah, so today, yeah, the plan, we're going to be doing two things. We're going to be watching this video, seeing what the heck this guy's talking about, and then we're going to be jumping back into Expedition 33, which has been just so fun. I didn't play it over the weekend, actually. I Googled, you know, should I grind Expedition? You know what I mean? Like, it kind of, because it seems like one of those games you could, right? You could go and fight the same bosses, go back through, because it refreshes the bosses every time that you go to sleep or whatever, right? Like every time you save, or I don't know, whatever, go to the flag, and then you go back. So you can just go, you know, kill them. I read a couple articles, or one on Reddit and one was an actual like article that basically said, don't do it because the game is well balanced and it'll give you plenty of opportunities to be able to do upgrade when you need to, and you'll ruin the story and it won't be quite as fun if you're not a little on edge. And I'm like, all right, I mean, assuming I can do that, sure. But it was, yeah, no, I didn't play. I played Duet Night Abyss, and I am really enjoying it. It was, so Duet Night Abyss was a gacha game that came out a little while back that gacha without the gacha. So it doesn't really have, you know, like, you don't have to give it money. You can if you want to, they're happy to take it. But I ended up, I put it away, and I was trying the new Where Winds Meet game, and I thought Where Winds Meet was cool, very pretty, but ultimately very slow. Slow, and then it needed some more leveling, and it needed some more stuff. And I'm like, I'm not really enjoying this. I'm more walking around. I need something a bit more, a bit more pizzazz. So I turned on Duet Night Abyss and started kind of grinding some stuff and doing the story and playing around, and I was having a lot of fun. And what was cool is about, I don't know, after the first part of the story, it flipped characters to a whole different person. And then you were like in a spaceship and you were doing all kinds of, like, it was really cool. And so I was really enjoying it. TXN Cyberdyne Ninja Cyborg. He's not a bot. He's a ooze, more of an ooze. Haven't made any progress. Last of the boxes my roommate ordered came in today, so we'll start packing. Yeah, you ordered some boxes. Okay. Yeah, back in the day, you used to go to the grocery store, and then you'd go to the liquor store, and then you'd go to the wherever else. And you'd be like, "Do you guys have boxes?" I remember moving when I was a kid, or not even when I was married. And you go to the liquor store, and they have a million boxes, but they all smell. So your house smells like a brewery for a little while because you're using all these boxes, and then you go to Walmart, same thing every time. Oh yeah, we got lots of boxes, but we just crushed them all, so you can't have any. Like, all right, cool. I think at one point, yeah, we moved and we were able to get movers, and they used real boxes. And so we were able to actually, we were able to keep all the boxes. And so we had a ton of boxes to move because we knew we were moving at some point. So we just kept a ton of the boxes, and those are great. Banana boxes at the truck. Yeah, banana boxes. Yeah. We go to the grocery store and pick up some of those. The problem is they have holes in them. So you gotta put, you can't put some things in them. But how was your weekend? How are you guys doing? I hope things are okay. Our house has been up and down as usual. I don't want to get into it. It's whatever. I'm so done with those conversations. But I released a new video that I worked really hard on. It's only 5 minutes long. I know, but we went and we filmed at a church, and we did a whole, I used my gimbal, and we used the HD and 4K and did a bunch of stuff, and it kind of came up with a plan. And then I came home, and I'd written the script, and I delivered the script, and I edited it all up to look as nice as I could make it. And then it was terrible. And then I re-edited the entire thing again to make it look a little bit better. And then I released it as an unlisted video, so that only people on the Discord could see it and give me feedback. And then I got I don't know, two feedbacks, and I was like, all right. So I released it this morning. Actually, I shouldn't have. The plan was I was going to change my whole YouTube channel, and once it changed, I released it. And I just wasn't thinking. I was sitting in the car, waiting for my daughter to do something, and I'm like, oh, and off it goes. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's the wrong order. I just got excited, and I sent it out. So I'm gonna be spending after stream fixing my YouTube channel. That is the plan. Would the cow complain about the first Christmas night? There's a son of God in my food. Cuz manger. Okay, so that's that. Anybody have anything they want to say before we jump into the video? I am very curious as to what the divine aura situation is. I didn't watch the video. I'm looking forward to seeing what it's all about, especially considering I guess he's similar to me in that I appreciate science, and I appreciate, like psychology and psychiatry and biochemistry and all the rest of it. You got to take that into account. But when you're talking about counseling stuff, but then at the same time, I talk about, faith and the spiritual realm and your spiritual reality in this world, and how that factors in too. You are heart, soul, mind, and strength. If you remove the soul, that's a big factor of who you are as a Christian, and as a human rather. And so therefore you got to factor that part in, because maybe your issue isn't physical or emotional or relational or intellectual. Maybe your issue is spiritual, so therefore you got to deal with it in that way. And so I'm curious as to what the divine aura thing is all about. So hopefully you are too. Before we do that, why don't we make sure that we say, if you guys have anything you want to say or anything you want to bring up, now's the time. But other than that, we're going to flip over to the video. I'll put my headphones on. Zach is here. He hath arrived. Unless he's saying it like All Might. I am here. Speaking of which, I have not watched the last season of My Hero Academia yet. I intend to, once it's all ready to go. Apparently it has ended, and it was quite a thing, quite a feat. Hello, shenanigans. I'm looking forward to it. Don't anybody say anything about it, because I don't want it ruined. I literally don't know what happens. I haven't got spoiled at all. My algorithm doesn't even know I like My Hero Academia. It doesn't even come up. So I'm excited to try it. But there's so many other things that we're doing right now. Like I got to get this YouTube channel thing fixed, and all the rest of that. So it's that's gonna happen in the evening. But then I go in the evenings, and like all of everything's taken. My whole family's home right now, so everything is just used up. All right, let's push pause, and then we'll push play on this thing, and we'll see what's what.
All right, kids, today we're going to talk about where aura comes from. And I want to be precise here because, we were thinking about what to title this, and it was like how to develop aura, but I'm going to be straight with y'all. The kind of aura that we're talking about, I'm not sure can be developed. And I'm really excited about this video because I find it incredibly fascinating. But we're talking about the kind of aura that is not regular charisma. This is the ability to walk into a room and people notice you're there. People can approach you and be very upset, very frustrated, and you sort of remain stable in that situation. People can be incredibly powerful, incredibly intimidating, incredibly wealthy, but this kind of person with this aura is untouched by all of that stuff.
So that's interesting that he starts with, you can't develop this. For one, why are we talking about it? Because in a sense, it would be, you're saying if you don't have this, it's hopeless. And if you do have this, you can't take credit for it. In the Christian realm, we talk about spiritual gifts, right? So as a spiritual gift, when you become saved, when you get saved, the Holy Spirit gives everybody a gift or two or three, depending on what you get. And you don't earn that. It becomes part of your personality. It becomes part of what you do, part of what you enjoy. When you use it, you are more effective within your gifting than not. And so therefore we kind of get the idea of something that you have, that when you're using it, or when you're part of a room, or you're part of a group, or you're working, whatever, that it is not something that you get credit for. It's just something that happens. So that's something that we do have, but at the same time, it's not, it's an active thing. You use it, say, for example, faith or administration or teaching or, mercy. It's just things you do. It's not who you are. So I'm curious as to where he's going with this, because I think we've all met people who kind of project a confidence, or when they walk into a room. Now, some people who are physically beautiful, they can, stop traffic, stop a clock kind of thing, because people stop and they look at him and they go, wow, that's really pretty. And then everybody, or handsome. And everybody kind of pauses and acknowledges it. But that's not, aura. That's, being attractive. There's some people that, because of their reputation, or, so say if you're, you're a gang member, or you are, a mafia boss, or you're a president of some country, or you're a sheik or whatever, people know. And then when you walk in, because of the authority you carry, because of the position you have in the world, because whatever your level of power is, people attribute to you an aura, right? If some people you'd look at and you just feel like that person is unstable, right? That you don't want to tick them off because they will throw you in the gulag or something. Whereas that other person, we know that they are kind, we know that they are generous, we know that whatever, and so I want to get to know that person. But that's always based on what they do and what their reputation is, not just an inherent thing. Because confidence is something you can build, so he's not talking about that. A reputation is something you can build, so he's not talking about that. Your strength or your power or what you've got, the things you can do, you can change. But so I'm kind of curious as to what he's going to talk about when it comes to the stuff that is just built into you.
So this is real aura, not sort of scientific charisma that's based on oration skill or things like that. This is an internal quality that some people have that allows them to walk into a room and captivate the entire room. So this is a bit harder to talk about, but this can absolutely be sort of analyzed, and that's what we're going to do. So we're going to start with the research on charisma.
All right.
So this is a great paper that I talked about.
So charisma, that's an interesting word, because it's a very spiritual word, right? That is a very, the charisma, having spirit, the something within you that is beyond you, right? It is something. I'm trying to remember the exact definition, like the Greek word charisma. It is charisma, a gift of grace or favor freely given, stemming from charis, meaning grace. Oh yeah, it's great. Okay, grace. I don't know why I couldn't remember that. But what does that have to do with in religious context? But today, commonly used to captivating person's charm, magnetism, or leadership quality. All right. Yeah, so it's a gift given for free, but so I don't know why it turned into that. You know, Riz. No, you're right. You are. That's exactly what he's talking about. So, but I really don't get how those two are connected. It's not something I understand. How is charisma directly connected to, like, with the idea of grace? You know, God's grace, connected to you being, you know, having aura. The charisma defined in the Merriam-Webster dictionary: a personal magic of leadership, arousing special popular loyalty or enthusiasm for public figure, a special magnetic charm or appeal. Okay, yeah, I don't know. It's definitely, it is a spiritual word though. We talk about charisma all the time. Charismatics, right? Charismatics. We talk about them having as in the spiritual term. A charismatic is someone who usually has a lot of external faith stuff going on. Like talk about, you know, sign gifts and miracles and weeping and you know, the music is energetic and people are using their bodies and hands. That seems more charismatic. But you know, I don't know. I honestly don't know how any of these words are connected, because they all seem like they should be different words.
Earlier, I made a video about how to develop charisma in a very like sequential way, broke down what all the components of charisma are. But in that video and in this paper, we'll see that there's an element of charisma which these authors choose not to include, which is something called divine related. This is what we're going to talk about today. The aura that human beings associate with divinity. So all of the emphasis on charisma outside of divinity or religion is a relatively new thing. And basically what's happened in the research is people have said like, oh, that's weird, mysterious stuff. We don't know what it is. So we're going to ignore it and we're going to focus on the things that we can measure, the things that we can study. But if we look at the whole of charisma research, we see that actually in countries like France and Canada, religion is the most commonly discussed scholarly subject when it comes to charisma. Out of all of the papers that have been ever published...
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's because it's part of our common language when it comes to religion. Like we talk about charisma and charismatics and you know, grace and the Spirit of God. And like that's a big part of who we are. I'm surprised Canada's in there, considering how secular we are. But it is connected to religion.
On charisma, religion is actually number 2 on like the academic study of charisma. So I think we've sort of lost something where we've all acknowledged, we all know that when it comes to true aura, religion or divinity have something to do with it, right? We have, from the top of the list, the people who started religions, people like Jesus, people like Buddha. Then we also have people like Joan of Arc or other people who are very religiously, or I mean, we call the religion came after. I don't know if that kind of makes sense. These people were not religious, right? So these major religious figures started a religion. So there was something.
No. Nope. Not true of Jesus. He, I guess technically he did. Technically, when he kicked off planet Earth and put Adam in the garden and then walked with him, that was technically the start of religion. He walked with God. There were rules, things you could do. They would relate to each other. There would be, you know, acts of worship and then unity. Yeah, okay. So that, yeah. So the beginning of time, there was a religion instituted between man and God, between Adam and Eve, and then they screwed it up. And then God went, okay, so here's another religion based, you know, this is what we're supposed to be like. So good luck with this one. It's only going to show you all the ways that you're not able to pull this off. So it created Judaism, you know, a way to be separate, a way to, and through Judaism would come the Messiah, who would then fulfill the prophecies of Judaism, ultimately becoming the second Adam from the very beginning, who would walk with God properly, who would then create through salvation the second Garden of Eden. You know what I mean? Like this, the second perfect environment where we walked with God. Like, it's all the same, right? Jesus didn't show up and be like, okay, here's a new thing. He's like, no, it's the same thing. It's always been. You guys just screwed up the interpretation. So here's how it's supposed to go. And then he changed some stuff, right? So for example, in Judaism, there was a temple. Jesus is like, okay, we don't need a temple anymore. The temple is going to be inside of you. The temple will be my church. The temple will be inside of you in each individual person, right? Each individual Christian will have the Spirit. Instead of the Spirit being housed in a building, Spirit will be housed inside of God's people. So it's spoken of plurally, as in you, the church, and singularly, you, the person. But that's not different, right? So the Word of God, right? The same, we have the Old Testament and the New Testament, but the New Testament is not a different religion or a different book or whatever. It's not this different God, same God. That's why they're so intricately tied together. You read Matthew, half of it is the Old Testament, right? It's connected. So Jesus didn't start a new religion. It was already going, and he technically started it before. But he is correct in that others started religions from scratch. You know, it's like, here's this. But even then, I'm sure if you dug into any of them, whether it be Mormonism or Buddhism or Islam or whatever, it's coming from somewhere, right? It's like even Islam, like they talk about Jesus as a prophet. You know, they don't just come out of nowhere. The Old Testament still factors in because it's taken from, right? It's taken from Judaism and taken from the scriptures and then set on another different path and, you know, creating a different interpretation of God, different interpretation of salvation, different interpretation of worship, of prayer, and the whole nine yards, right? It's just, but it came from there, from Judaism, from, you know, it's not Christianity. It's, or not all by itself. There have been a lot of heretics and a lot of cults, but usually they are based on bad interpretations or manipulations of scripture or of other existing religions. I think Scientology, maybe, but even then, like L. Ron Hubbard, like it, the way that he like, I don't know. I think technically you could call that one a made up one, because I don't think he actually refers to Christians or anything. I don't know enough about it, but yeah, it usually comes from somewhere. But no, not Christianity.
So special about their aura that human beings flock to them. And
again, not agree when it comes to like a lot of charismatic religious leaders, you know, where they did something special, whether it be, you know, like the Buddha or someone who is doing something super religious that gives attention. I don't know why I picked Joan of Arc. Joan of Arc was like, yes, she was important, but she was a Catholic, right? But no, Jesus, he people came to him, right? Yes, people came to him, but it wasn't, there was a reason for it, right? He didn't have aura, I wouldn't say. He had words that were truth, and he had love that was captivating. He was accepting in ways nobody else was, and when he spoke with an authority that nobody else had. But he was also super hated, right? He was extremely divisive. When he walked into a room, you know, there would be people there that would despise him and want him dead. And there'd be like one person that would be like, no, you think he's pretty good. So it's, yeah.
After this person passed, something about what they taught continued for thousands of years later. So like, I'm gonna explain to you what that is, right? So I know how arrogant that sounds, but really, I think we can like look at all these publications and we can try to get a sense of like where that really comes from. And that's what's so fascinating about this, okay? I think we can actually crack that nut. Is insane.
So kind of. So Jesus, when he died, we rose again and then ascended, and then he was gone. It was let's just not talk about the coming of the Holy Spirit, and then because just put that aside for a sec. But the idea that so he's not there anymore. But when he left, it wasn't like he set a bunch of rules and said, okay, everybody go. That's not how it worked. In fact, if it would have worked like that, there would have been just it would have fallen apart, because the amount of martyrdom, amount of cost it was to be able to become a Christian was too high. If it was just Jesus was such a cool guy, and he came up with these rules, and what a cool guy for coming up with these rules. We should definitely do that, because at the time of Rome, if you didn't say Caesar is Lord, they'd kill you. They'd boil you in oil. They would exile you. Like, it wasn't a good thing. And so it had to be more than just Jesus was super cool or Jesus was really charismatic. Plus, one of the things about Jesus was miracles, right? So it wasn't merely that he would show up and go, "Hi, I'm Jesus," and also awesome. He would perform miracles, things that nobody else would do, which is what makes him special, right? That's the idea, is that, well, why didn't he, it's because that's what made it special, is that he actually, he did it. He raised the dead. Well, nobody can do that. Yeah, that's the idea. That is the idea. Well, nobody can turn a lunch into 5,000 people. You're right. Nobody can. That's what makes Jesus special. That's a miracle. That's the idea, right? And so he demonstrated his power. In fact, when he's, at the end, when he's being judged, he's like, "Are you the Son of Man or the Son of God?" He's like, "Well, you guys have been wandering around looking at me. What do you think?" Right? He doesn't say yes. He's just like, "What do you guys think?" And the obvious answer is, if he's raised the dead and cured leprosy and he's done impossible things, their answer has to be, well, God is clearly with you. Nobody else could do this thing. They tried to blame it on Satan. Well, clearly he's with Satan. Satan is the one out curing people from diseases. Sure he is. But it was clearly not. Okay. Every time anybody who's not a Christian talks about Christian stuff, generally speaking, they either simplify or get it wrong. Greatest man in history, Jesus had no servants, yet they called him master. Had no degree, yet they called him teacher. Had no medicine, yet they called him healer. Had no army, yet the kings feared him. Had no military battles, yet he conquered the world. He committed no crimes, yet they crucified him. He's buried into him, yet he lives today. Yeah. He's a contradiction.
As that sounds, I think that in the world, if you observe something, there is a particular analytical method that you can use to actually understand it, including the really weird, mysterious stuff.
All right.
So let's start with the basics. The first really basic thing about all these people is the way that empathy works with them. See, all human beings have empathic circuits, which means that when I see you're crying, the visual stimulus of you crying is going to turn my brain on in certain ways. Mm-hmm. And then maybe when you feel sad, I feel sad, we're going to feel sad together. I'm capable of feeling what you are feeling, and you are capable of feeling what I'm feeling. And we sort of have all of these weird dynamics that we play into. So earlier I talked about people who are intimidating or rich or powerful. There's all this empathy, weird empathic stuff that goes on when one of these people enters the room, right? So there's the person who's the top dog. And when the top dog enters the room, everyone fawns and flocks around them. And there's a certain amount of social respect towards the top dog. When people approach the top dog, usually one of two things will happen. Either you respond to them somewhat appropriately, you can respond to them neutrally, or if you're in defiance, if top dogs really bother you and you piss them off, you're kind of stern with them, right? I don't know if that kind of makes sense, but when someone really popular enters the room, there's a weird social script that everyone starts to enact. So someone with charisma does...
That's true, right? Not everybody's going to react the same way. Some people will look at somebody who's popular and hate them immediately, not because of anything they did, but simply because they hate people who are popular. Their assumption is, based on their experiences and based on whatever else, popular people usually are bad people. Beautiful people are generally stupid and mean. People who are nice are trying to get something out of you, right? It's they're, depending on your history and depending on your experience with people, you're going to have a reaction when that person walks into the room. right? But it's not always going to be positive, but it will be a reaction. That's why one of the things about, or wealthy, yeah, that's why one of the things about this aura thing, if it is divine and you walk in and like, then it would kind of be universal. Although at the same time, the way the Bible talks about smells, like we carry a scent as it's an illustration, but Christians carry a scent, right? To each other and to those who are seeking God, those who are seeking mercy and whatever, there's sort of it's a pleasant aroma, right? Our prayers are scent, our life is a pleasing aroma to God, and to those who are of God, they see it and it's pleasant to them too. However, to people who hate God, or people who are not on his team, or either despise him or indifferent to him or worship themselves or someone else, that same smell that you give off because of your life, because of your choices, because of your your aura, because of whatever, etc., is they hate it. That's why it's actually mystifying. Somebody I know, they it's just really frustrating for them, because they're like, there are people who dislike me. They just dislike me, and I don't know why. It makes no sense, and the answer is because they're a Christian. That's the only answer. It's like, they're not a jerk. They're not like preachy. They're not Bible thumping. They're not trying to like evangelize everybody all the time. They're not even they're not like judgmental. They're just being nice. And yet there are people who are literally just, I hate you. I hate you. It's just it's not them. It's God within them. It is something different, something beyond them. Well, we were all smelly, Ferric. Deal with it. We're at a conference. Everybody smells at a conference.
Doesn't play into that script. And here's the reason why. When we empathically connect with someone who has true aura, what we feel on the inside is incredibly uncommon. They have what feels like a soul made of steel. Like there's something about them that makes them impossible to perturb. The regular empathic crap.
Jesus was not like that, right? Could Jesus be perturbed? He absolutely could be perturbed. You know how many times you look at his followers and like, are you guys dumb? Like, that Jesus was perturbed, right? Like he was perturbed. He wept. He was angry. He was disappointed. He went, he had the range of emotions. He wasn't this steel man of unfeeling, unempathic, like he felt it. Like he wept with those who weep. Like he really was affected by his environment.
That we get from other people, that we signal to other people. There's some amount of like, oh my God, like when I see you, you lack self-confidence and you're stuttering, and that gives me the ick, right? So we have like the person who's stuttering over here, possible to perturb. The regular empathic crap that we get from other people, that we signal to other people, there's some amount of like, oh my God, like when I see you, you lack self-confidence and you're stuttering, and that gives me the ick, right? So we have like the person who's stuttering over here, the person who gets the ick over here, and we're both transmitting signals that kind of work with each other, because you feel like you have a lack of self-confidence. So when I give you the ick eye, that resonates with the way that you feel about yourself. You feel crappy about yourself. I am agreeing with you. I'm going to give you the ick.
You are crappy.
Right? So we have all of these social scripts that are going on. Someone with true aura breaks all those scripts. When we sort of sit with them, or when they're in a room, like they don't seem to be operating in that way.
I think so. There's something I can agree with. When Jesus was part of situations, whatever the situation was, he wasn't swept up by the situation. He wasn't impacted or peer pressured, or he didn't feel that like when other people were trying to tell him what to do or didn't like what he was doing or were asking, he didn't go along with them. He had lots of opportunity. His people, his closest friends, coming to him and going, you're doing really good. We're being really popular. You should come back and you should preach here some more, because it's just going to be really, really good. And he's like, no, we're leaving. That's not what I came for. And he just disappoints a whole town, confuses his supporters, like his disciples, and he just wanders off, right? He after the feeding of the 5,000, they try to make him king. He's like, no. He leaves, gets in a boat, crosses the the sea, on the other side of the sea, they go chase him down, and then he talks to him about eating my flesh and drinking my blood. He's talking about in big concepts, salvation and sacrifice and what it means to follow him as Lord. And everybody gets upset, and he leaves. And he turns around, and there's 12 guys left, and he's like, "Are you guys leaving too?" Right? Like, Jesus had every opportunity to be swayed. Right? He was standing before Pilate. Pilate's like, "So, if you just say one thing, I'll let you go," right? And Jesus wouldn't say it. Why? Because he wasn't swayed by that. When he was on the cross, he's looking out at, you'd think that if there's one place that you're going to be overwhelmed by emotion, overwhelmed by the situation, like the pain, the physical suffering, the humiliation, the torture, the blood loss, all of it. You'd think that would be the place where he'd lose it. And yet he has compassion. He is taking care of his mom. He's talking to, he's forgiving people. Like, he never lost it. He did to what he, our good doctor here is talking about. Jesus didn't lose it. He was above, right? He was there, right? He was still empathic. He still was connected, right? When he saw somebody who was suffering, his heart went out to them. He wanted to do something. He was moved to compassion. That means he was empathically vibing with people. But that empathic vibing was never altered his right and wrong. It never made decisions for him, right? So, for example, we can be knowing the right thing to do. Look at somebody and they're just miserable, and you're like, maybe we'll wait till tomorrow when they're feeling better. Because this would just be, I'm not going to kick them when they're down. I know the right thing to do would be to say, or the right thing to do would be to, but right now is not a good time. Or, and so therefore you because of their feeling, you change your plan, you put it off or whatever. Jesus would never do that, right? He does what is exactly right in that situation at that time for that person. But it's always colored, it's always also has empathy. That is definitely divine. Hard to do.
An immense amount of stability. Now, where does this stability come from? St. John of the Cross wrote this thing called the dark night of the soul. The light guided me more surely than the light of noonday to the place where he, well I knew who, was awaiting me, a place where none appeared. Okay, so this guy's saying, okay, I was guided by a light to where this person was supposed to be, but they weren't there. I remained lost in oblivion, my face I reclined on the beloved. All ceased, and I abandoned myself, leaving my cares forgotten among the lilies. So when we look at people who have real aura, what we find is usually a common experience for these kinds of people, whether it's people like Nelson Mandela or Aurobindo is another major spiritual teacher from the roughly Hindu tradition who was in prison for a while. Like, a lot of people end up in prison, or a lot of people have some kind of event messes them up in a very major way. How have their epigenetics changed? How has their brain changed when you have these kinds of experiences? And this is the best that I can put together.
So the way that he's connecting Dark Night of the Soul is to the misery that they went through was a key factor in developing aura. Is that what he's saying? Tell you something I heard about the apostles when Jesus was with him after his ascension, that Jesus getting frustrated. They did not understand him. Was similar, being frustrated about trying to explain properly taxes to a child. When Jesus left them, they had matured and were like, I get it now. No, the difference was the Holy Spirit. That is the difference. It wasn't that they got it. It was that they were given it. Yeah.
So normally in life, we have challenges. We have
I'm going to go back for a sec.
We have stability. Now, when we sort of sit with them, or when they're in a room, like, they don't seem to be operating in that way. There's an immense amount of stability. Now, where does this stability come from? St. John of the Cross wrote this thing called the dark night of the soul. The light guided me more surely than the light of noonday to the place where he, well I knew who, was awaiting me, a place where none appeared. Okay, so this guy's saying, okay, Okay,
so I think he's interpreting this wrong. I haven't read it. I haven't read it. So he said, the light guided me. So the light guided me to a place where God, was awaiting me. A place where nobody else appeared. God was there.
Guided by a light to where this person was supposed to be, but they weren't there.
That's not what that says. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's not what that says. This light guided me more surely than the light of noonday. So the light was there. The light was given by God to a place where God, and I know it's God, was waiting for me. A place where no one else was except him.
Remained lost in oblivion. My face I reclined on the beloved.
So the beloved is there. Beloved is Jesus. Jesus, the light, took me to a place where Jesus was, and then Jesus was there. Nobody else was there except Jesus. So I was still felt crappy, but I laid down on Jesus. Everything stopped, and I abandoned myself to Jesus, leaving my cares forgotten among the lilies. So that Jesus is there, man.
Ceased, and I abandoned myself, leaving my cares forgotten among the lilies. So when we look at people who have real aura, what we find is...
So, maybe I'm wrong.
Is usually a common experience for these kinds of people, whether it's people like Nelson Mandela or Aurobindo is another major spiritual teacher from the roughly Hindu tradition who was in prison for a while. Like a lot of people end up in prison, or a lot of people have some kind of event messes them up in a very major way. How have their epigenetics changed? How has their brain changed when you have these kinds of experiences? And this is the best.
Okay, so yes, humanly speaking, I think it's very, very true in that, and you can actually say that based on what Hebrews says, where Jesus was perfected through suffering. If I want to get on board with Doctor here, according to Hebrews, Jesus' suffering was directly connected to his development as a person. It was a necessary ingredient. But there's also it's also that the suffering was unavoidable because he was, God on yucky earth. But it's true that God often uses very difficult circumstances to elevate people to see things and experience things and be able to handle things in a way that others can't because of the experiences they went through. That is true. I googled Baum, and his version slightly different than the first couple I've seen. I reclined on the beloved part specifically. He might. Okay. All right.
That I can put together. So normally in life, we have challenges, we have difficulties, we have negative emotions, we feel sad, we feel hopeless, we have setbacks, people dump us, we feel lonely, we have all of this negative stuff that comes our way. And the way that most human beings survive is by balancing that negative stuff with the positive stuff. So this is where, if I get dumped by my girlfriend, my bros are going to be like, hey, man, it's okay. There are other fish in the sea. There's some amount of negative and some amount of positive, right? There's some amount of, if I feel sad, what I'm going to do is play video games to make that negativity go away. So we'll do everything from read philosophical.
I know what he's saying. I know what he's saying. That's not the unhealthy version of this. A healthy version of this is this. Bad things happened. So I counted my blessings. Bad situations occurred, so I changed my perspective to see what was, what good things were happening. The thing that was utterly out of my control and was really, really terrible happened. I believe that God understands what's going on and that he's in charge and he's in control. That part is different than what he's talking about. There's a very big difference between, a good thing happens after a bad thing happens after a good thing happens, because sometimes it's only bad things for a while. And the only thing you have left is trusting that God will eventually either reconcile this or use this or fix this, or there is a purpose, right? That's what it's not balancing you out. It's just God gives hope. Now, maybe he's talking about, because that's where your positive comes from, is the fact that God gives you hope. But I honestly believe it's a divine gift. I say divine, but it's a spiritual gift. It's something that we can't generate. It's something that's given to us. we go, okay, God, I can't do this. And so he gives us the peace that passes understanding. He gives us, all the definitions of love, patience and kindness and goodness, all the spiritual gift, or the spiritual fruit, love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. All those things are from God, given from God, not humanly speaking. However, our pursuit, if that's what he's talking about, when bad things happen, we go try to find something good. The video game thing is where I disagree, because the video game thing is not trying to make it feel better by using a positive thing. I think it's honestly trying to just sever the feeling, which is what makes it so unhealthy. Is it's like, well, bad thing happened, so I turned that feeling off. Bad thing happened, so I turned that feeling off. And the bad thing happened, so I turned that feeling off. So I just took it and I stuck it in the box. And I'm just hoping that I don't have to deal with that box, right? That's what the video game, that's what the entertainment, that's what the drugs, that's what the alcohol, that's what the, distraction and whatever your thing is. It's not meant to deal with in positive. It's meant to distract. A healthy person would go, okay, I'm going to grieve this. I'm going to get, find justice. I'm going to go ask for help. I'm going to, do something to deal with that emotion in a healthy way. But generally speaking, people aren't doing that these days.
Texts to have emotional amount of, if I feel sad, what I'm going to do is play video games to make that negativity go away. So we'll do everything from read philosophical texts, to have emotional conversations, to go to therapy, to distract ourselves, numb ourselves with substances, whatever. We go through life with all kind of bad stuff and all kind of good stuff. And the purpose for most people's lives is to have more good stuff than bad stuff. I want to have money. I want to have love. I want to have relationships. I want to have meaning. I want to have purpose in life. I want all these things. I
don't want to disagree with that, but it's not, he's right. That's what we want. Life is not about money. No. But you ultimately do want to have a more positive life than negative. We all do. We are pursuing that. Everybody does. In fact, that's why God said, when you're going through bad stuff, remember, there's treasure in heaven. When you're going through bad stuff, remember, God is refining you. You're becoming a better person. You're getting to know God more. You're able to use this to serve people in ways that nobody else can. There is value, right? Oh, I'm becoming a better person. Oh, I'll be more useful. Oh, I'll have a more better character. Oh, I'll have stronger shoulders to be able to help more people, right? Like that's what we want, and God promises that. It's not like we want money, but we believe comfort is important. So I'm going to go find comfort in what? Well, either in the arms of God, in the arms of people, or in somewhere bad. But we still want comfort. And that's not a bad thing. Like, wanting these things isn't inherently bad. It's the same with money. Money is a great example of something that makes no sense to want. It's money is meaningless. It doesn't do anything. I could give you $1 million, put it in your pocket, put it in a pile in front of you. It does nothing for you. You can't eat it. You can't. It's not going to be comfortable to sleep on. You can't. You can't turn it into clothes. It means nothing. The money is a means to an end. It is the way you get something. So therefore, the end goal isn't money. The end goal is what? What do you actually want? Most people want security, or they want power, or they want comfort, or they want some kind of control, right? That's what the money's for. It's not to get money. It's to get that other thing. And we all want that, right? We all want control. We all want to feel useful. We all want to have a sense of power and authority to be able to accomplish that which we want to accomplish, which is why we all lean on God. Christians like, well, he's got the power and he shares it with me, right? He's got the resources and he shares them with me. He's got he's in control and I'm part of that plan, right? We all want these things, which is a good thing. It's just that we keep, we can't make it so that those are all bad. It is a good thing, and it's okay to want.
good stuff. And the purpose for most people's lives is to have more good stuff than bad stuff. I want to have money. I want to have love. I want to have relationships. I want to have meaning. I want to have purpose in life. I want all these things. I want less of the bad stuff and more of the good stuff. I believe that finding true aura, that real transformation, comes when the good stuff no longer touches the bad stuff. When all of the good stuff is wiped away and all you're left with is profound bad stuff. And
Let's listen to that again.
stuff. And the purpose for most people's lives is to have more good stuff than bad stuff. I want to have money. I want to have love. I want to have relationships. I want to have meaning. I want to have purpose in life. I want all these things. I want less of the bad stuff and more of the good stuff. I believe that finding true aura, that real transformation, comes when the good stuff no longer touches the bad stuff. When all of the good stuff is wiped away and all you're left with is profound bad stuff.
So you can't start with this can't be generated and then say this is how you get it, right? Because that doesn't make any sense. Because now he's giving you a recipe, right? Well, a lot of people take it as their purpose, though, right? It's like, well, what are you doing on Earth? Well, I'm here to make sure my family is taken care of. What does that mean? It means they have enough, and that means that they're comfortable. It means that they're, I love them, and it means that they don't feel pain. Like that's my purpose, is to be a good, dad, husband, whatever. It kind of, yeah, I get what you mean, right? Like yeah. So he's saying the recipe for aura is suffering. Can't purposely be generated, but it happens to people unintentionally. Well, that's what I'm saying, right? But you could technically throw yourself into this, right? And people do. This is literally what asceticism is. The ancient practice, or the current practice for that matter, believing that you are a better believer, you will unlock, God 2.0, religion 2.0, if you suffer enough. So therefore, like, you'll go and you'll sleep on a bed of nails, or you'll beat yourself whenever you have a bad thought, or you'll, not wear shoes, or you'll only eat, the worst stuff, or whatever. You'll live in poverty. And that asceticism is what will make you more connected to God, connected to the divine, connected to the spiritual realm, or whatever. This is a belief everybody has, and this is them using his logic and going, well, if people are made, if suffering is what makes you a better person, suffering will bring you closer to God, suffering is what gives you aura, lets you farm aura, then I'm just going to make myself suffer, right? I'm going to make myself miserable. In fact, the ultimate version of this was martyrdom. And in the old church, like in the first century church, they had to be like, could y'all please stop martyring yourself? It's not helpful. Because it became like, you became super cool. And the belief that if I martyr myself, I get to, go straight to heaven, and I'm super, super cool. And the religious leaders and the, church fathers are like, guys, we need you alive. Could you please stop that? It's but the idea is, if I suffer, then God loves me more, he'll bless me more, and I'll be a better person, and so therefore I'm going to make myself miserable. Some people do that. Some people like you can almost argue that, sort of old school Baptists, and I'm sure there's others, Catholics for sure, that the more misery you have, the closer you are to God. Like Catholic, or, hardcore Catholicism, straight up doesn't get you saved. Catholicism, salvation by work, Catholicism is like, this is where the Reformation come from, because it was, okay, so you sinned. How do you know that you are going to be saved? Well, Jesus died on the cross, but that wasn't enough. So you also need to be punished. And so here's what you need to do. Go climb these stairs on your hands and knees. Go say this thing over and over and over. Go do something unpleasant to yourself to show that you are really sorry. And through the unpleasantness, you will, gain favor with God, and that will lead to your salvation. And then because that's never enough, God has created this place called purgatory, where you are purged and punished, and so that you're all, you kind of get charbroiled enough until you are good enough to get into heaven. And so therefore, but the way that you can solve that problem is just give the church a lot of money. That's where the Reformation came from. But it was all based on that idea that suffering equals closer to God. And his point of suffering is the key ingredient to divine aura. I don't think it's entirely wrong, because with people who have been through a lot of stuff, and make it through the other side and don't become bitter, miserable, horrible, vengeful, like drunken messes, who make it to the other side and still are human. They definitely have a different vibe, right? You just know that they are. And there are a lot of people. I'm not going to name names. The one that leaps to mind is I can't remember her name. You guys remember some lady? She was in a wheelchair, and she was a speaker, right? Like, and there are people who are inspirational speakers, but the inspiration comes from the fact of what they've been through. So yes, but I don't know where he's going.
And when all of your compensatory mechanisms go completely out the window and you are overwhelmed by a torrent of negativity, when everything in your life is completely falling apart and you have no logical kind of like defense mechanism left, you have no emotional support, you are actually at your lowest point when everything else around you has abandoned you and failed you. And in that moment, when the mind is no longer capable of helping you, the intellect is no longer capable of helping you, the emotions are no longer capable of helping you, empathy and connection with other human beings are no longer capable of helping you. In that moment, some people find something within themselves, something so deep and so primitive. It's this weird connection to the divine. Like, that's...
All right. So again, we go back to Jesus, and if he wouldn't have said Jesus, I wouldn't be able to follow him, because I don't know enough about Buddha and all the rest of it. But I do know about Jesus. I'm trying to think of when that happened to him. Like he was born, and then he had a dad and he had a mom, and they had money. They weren't rich, but they had enough for rent. And then he lived, and he had brothers and sisters, and dad probably died, but he had his mom and his brothers and sisters. And then he was able to go on the road, and he was able to teach. And though it wasn't comfortable, he had people supporting him, right? He had a whole gaggle of women who were helping to keep him, fed and watered as he taught. And so then as he went, as he was kicking up dust and whatnot, and people were getting more annoyed with him. But then, like, even when they tried to stone him the first time, he just wandered off. They left. It's like, I'm not saying he had a great life, not by any stretch, but what he's talking about, the recipe for Jesus' divine aura, was when he went through the really horrible thing. And that's what created it. I'm like, well, no, here's your problem. He went through the really horrible thing, and according to you, he died. And that was that. So he didn't, when did he pass along his teaching? You know what I mean? He died. In the Christian realms, he showed up. He was tempted in every way, but never sinned. He faced every, kind of realm of a bad thing. He was sent out into maybe he sent out into the desert. Maybe that would be his the thing he's talking about, where he's okay. Hold on. If at the beginning of his ministry, after he's baptized, he's sent into the desert for 40 days, where he doesn't have food, and he's tempted by Satan, and he is alone, right? And is that traumatic enough to count what he's counting? Because the whole point of that was that Jesus was fine, right? He's like, you're hungry, you should make some bread. And he's like, I don't need bread. I have food that isn't, I'm not going to make bread, because that wouldn't be right, and I'm not listening to you. Aren't you lonely? Aren't you, don't you want more power? Don't you want to accomplish this? Because your whole life's going to suck here for a while. Pitch yourself off the temple. And he's like, no, that's not what I'm doing, right? He though it was uncomfortable and probably miserable, but it wasn't what he's talking about. He wasn't in a gulag. He wasn't, trapped in a well getting bitten by scorpions. That was, so it does, his description doesn't work for Jesus.
That's the language that we use. In those hardest moments is when you find God. I'm not saying Christian God. I'm not saying Hindu God. I'm talking about the phenomenological experience that we can look at in scholarly publications about charisma that are published in a religious way. There's something deep within you. One of my patients described
It didn't work. When you're in this place, you find God. That God, by definition, is an external thing in that sense, right? God is external. Hi, Jones. God comes to you, especially using the dark night of the soul. Right? God comes to you, or the light comes to you and brings you to God. If you're in the middle of that, like you're Joseph and you're going through just some bad stuff, it's not in you then. Well, that's the thing, right? He's like, there's a divine. Okay, where's the divine? It's either something that comes from outside of you that is imported into you, right? As in, like, God goes, okay, here, blah, and now you have something you didn't have before, a divine aura, strength, character, whatever. When you walk into a room, everybody, feels it. Here you go. Or it magically manifests, which technically means everybody has it. It's like a little egg that lives inside of everybody, and you just need enough pressure to pop the egg to give you divine aura, because that's just, everybody has it. So that doesn't make any sense. So the way he's describing it is an external thing from where? This is always where it falls apart, because it's like, where is it coming from? Is it coming from a person? Did he choose you? If he chose you, that means he's a personal. That means there's a personal God. Meaning you got to go find him. I mean, he probably has a name, and he probably has a way to communicate with you. Well, we can't do that because that's God. So it's what? It's an impersonal force that shows you. That doesn't make any sense, right? It's interesting discussion, Jones. So he's not making any sense. He's talking kind of in a weird. It doesn't work.
Find something within themselves, something so deep and so primitive. It's this weird connection to the divine. Like that's the language that we use. In those hardest moments is when you find God. I'm not saying Christian God. I'm not saying Hindu God. I'm talking about the phenomenological experience that we can look at in scholarly publications about charisma that are published in a religious way. There's something deep within you. One of my patients describes it to me after his 7th suicide attempt. I said, why? And I asked him, should I be worried about you committing suicide? And he's like, no, you don't have to worry about me. I was like, why the not? You've tried to commit suicide 7 times. This is what he told me. He was laying on a stretcher in a hospital that 7th time, and he realized that he has tried to kill himself 7 times, but there is something within him that strives to live more than he strives to die. He found that connection. Even though he struggled with depression, the
Okay. Hello, Lagate. Good to see you. I don't want to, I'm not going to disagree with, with that, because obviously that is a very secular way of looking at it. And we've all heard that from secular people, right? I found something within myself, and I wrote that. It's, you look at Alcoholics Anonymous or a program, there is always a higher power, right? It's built into it. It's baked into the system. Why is it baked into the system? Because it came from a Christian. He wrote it, and they're like, well, we got to get rid of the God part. Well, that's an important part. Okay, we'll make it a higher power. Then you can pick whatever you want. And so for some people, their higher power is their daughter. Some people, their higher power is a light bulb on the wall. Some people, their higher power, it doesn't matter. But for them, it's something beyond themselves. And so it's like during that really difficult time, they discovered something that wasn't them that they're going to live for, right? It's so for him, I discovered something in me that I'm going to live for. There's something within me that wants to live, right? It's like, it's just, yeah. I mean, it is a thing that happens, but ultimately, is it enough? Because is that going to continue on? Like, is it going to, that strength that you just found, that person that you just found, the one that is keeping you alive? what if you lose touch with them? If they are you, like, how does that work?
Tonal patterns are still there. The emotional patterns are still there. The cognitive patterns, the traumas, all of that in the brain and in the mind are still there. But something deep down is incredibly powerful, and that's what you connect to. Once you find that connection, you are transformed. There's a certain amount of stability. It feels like the rest of the world is like a tornado, and you're sitting in the eye of the storm. Right? So in the Eastern religious traditions, in the contemplative traditions, they talk about a systematic way to find this. Right? So we'll talk about things like shunya meditation in Dr. K's guide to meditation. We talk about some of this stuff over on the membership side, some of these weird, esoteric, more advanced techniques. But there are certain ways to potentially find that connection, connect to the divinity within. And once you...
So Christians do believe in this, right? We believe in meditation. Generally speaking, like the pursuit of the divine, we believe it's a thing that all humans are doing. Everybody, under the common grace of God, everybody has the opportunity to pursue God. That's why, like, what about people who don't know Jesus? Why do they have to go to hell? Like, well, because they also have been invited to pursue God. They've also been given exactly what is necessary in order for them to understand that there is a God and a conscience to know what's right and wrong. And so there is enough, and God has created, sort of the hole in their heart or the hunger or whatever to find something to give their life to that will be more powerful than them, that will ultimately give them purpose and for it's supposed to be God. And some people are like, well, that is my job, or that is my self, or that is my power, or that is, whatever, pick another thing. And so that becomes an idol. And so we do believe that meditation is powerful. And we do believe that quietness and solitude, simplicity, the prayer, Bible reading, acts of service, all these things that every religion has are important. They are ingredients in ways to connect to God, and that's universally true. For Christians, though, right, it's where many other religions are an emptying, as in they're removing from their life thing. Like, we're going to get rid of my stuff. I'm going to get rid of myself. I'm going to get rid of my thoughts. I'm going to get rid of my desires. I'm going to get rid of my everything. And once I'm empty, then maybe I can connect to God. That isn't how it works with us. Instead, we are replacing, right? It's not that I'm getting rid of my desires. I'm evaluating my desires based on what God wants, right? I want my desires to be his desires. It's not like I'm going to get rid of all my stuff. I'm going to just give all my stuff to God, and then he'll do what he wants with it. I get to keep some, he gets to use it, and then I hold it in open hand, right? The acts of service. I'm not going to serve people because I'm trying to impress him, or through religious, or because I'm trying to, make myself miserable enough that God will finally show up. But I do acts of service because I believe that this is what God wants me to do, and that my life is an act of worship to him. And in that service, he meets me, but it's his job. He gives it to me. There are times I don't have to serve because it's not what I'm supposed to do. Like, it's a little different. So it's a little different. It's not completely different. Like there's a lot of overlap, which is what confuses people between other religions and Christian, like, spiritual practices. But the focus is different.
Once you find that connection, you are transformed. There's a certain amount of stability. It feels like the rest of the world is like a tornado, and you're sitting in the eye of the storm. Right? So in the Eastern religious traditions, in the contemplative traditions, they talk about a systematic way to find this. Right? So we'll talk about things like shunya, certain ways to potentially find that connection, connect to the divinity within. And once you connect to that divinity within, the empathic circuits of the people around you get really confused because you don't respond, because you've experienced and lived through the hardest form of isolation, abandonment, loneliness, etc. And so you're still alive on the other side. Life through...
It sounds like you are elevated beyond the capacity to have empathy. That can't be what he's talking about, because that's definitely not what happens. What happens is when you go through a really bad thing like that, you get to the other side of something like that, especially if you connect to God, it makes you more sympathetic, more empath, more desirous to so that nobody else has to go through that, to use your gifts and skills and resources and time in order to, solve that problem, whatever that is. Like say you were human trafficked, right? It's like, man, that was terrible and I got through that. I don't want that to happen to anybody. I'm going to go, do counseling. I'm going to try to figure out how to stop that. Or divorce, that's really crappy. I'm going to talk to people, when it comes to, their marriage, to make sure that, whatever you went through doesn't lead you to elevate yourself above people, and that you were no longer, like, you don't care anymore. And that can't be what he's talking about, because everybody I know who's been through really, really horrible stuff and gets to the other side of it is usually, I'm trying to think of anybody but is motivated to use that experience as fuel to make the world a better place. If they don't, right? If it turns inward and it becomes bitterness and revenge and rage, they don't last long, right? These are people who will, off themselves. These are people who will get sent to jail. These are people who will fall into addiction and never climb out again. They're not gonna be divine. Hey, Art, good to see you. Welcome back. Haven't seen you in a while. They're not going to make it, but the ones who do, it doesn't pivot them to live above. It pivots them to use that experience to fuel service.
Threw at you the worst possible things it knew how to throw, and you survived it, which means you have a stability. And that stability comes because the only way you can survive it is by connecting to the divine. And when you connect to the divine, other people pick up on it. And this,
I went through it, so toughen up. Yeah, that person is not going to be carrying aura. If you are the guy who walks around going, all of you are wimps and wusses and you just need to suck it up and do life better, your aura isn't going to be something that people are attracted to. It's going to be something that, you are just the worst. People will reject you. That's not an attitude people want. Response to intense struggle, usually either inward addiction or outward compassion. Yeah.
becomes because the only way you can survive it is by connecting to the divine. And when you connect to the divine, other people pick up on it. And this is how cults are born. So there are some human beings on the planet who have this connection, but don't have ethical training, don't come up in a religious tradition, have egos that have not been worked on. You don't have to work on your ego to have this kind of divine connection.
So I don't know where he's going with this, but kind of the description of being broken down to your base elements, right? Literally broken down to, you went to that prison or you went to that misery, or like everything was just the worst and the only thing left was, like nothing good, right? I don't get the impression that those are the ones who start cults. I think those are the ones who got halfway there, What's up, Nurse Nerd? Good to see you. Hope you're well. I think they felt crappy and they felt miserable and they, whatever. And so they turned that, instead of being broken down to the having to reevaluate everything, they never got that far. And so instead just utilize that negative energy in order to be like, I hate people and I'm going to make everybody else's life miserable. And I'm going to control everybody, and the world is meant to serve me and things like I think if you are really truly broken down to zero, like you hit rock bottom and then you go down to the basement, I don't think that births a cult leader. Maybe I'm just naive though. He's got some interesting stuff. Yeah, he's got some interesting stuff. But yeah, it's cool that he's talking about this stuff. Hey, Pastor G, good to see you. Dropping down while wrapping the wife's gifts. Good for you. Good to see you. Welcome.
Connection. And when that happens, this is where cult leaders are born, because human beings, they have true aura. So other human beings will gravitate towards them because they can detect in this person, holy shit, this person has a stability that I long for. I'm lonely. I'm hopeless. I feel sad. There's a deep, deep, deep hurt deep inside me. And this person seems to have healed it.
Well, that is true. Like the reason that they have followers is because they go and they find the weak, right? The weak, the vulnerable, the naive, the foolish, the the desperate, the ones who also want power, and they're able to manipulate them. I don't think it's about, wow, this person has what I want, but more along the lines of, this person is promising me something that I think will solve my problem. Like, he's got a connection. It's yeah. I think that's probably true. Like, people aren't going to follow somebody they're not going to get any benefit from, right?
Let me gravitate towards them. They're drawn like moths to a flame to this person who has aura. The problem is that this person, just because they have the connection to the divine, and this is where I try to get scientific, for lack of a better term, I try to understand the quantifiable, phenomenological elements of this, right? Can you have a connection to the divine while still having an ego out of problem that still exists? Can you have a connection to the divine? Does that fix the deep hurt? It doesn't. The neurological stuff is up here. The psychiatric stuff is up here. The divine stuff is down below. And that's why if you have a...
I can get on board with that, because the heart, soul, mind, and strength, there are dependent, but they are also separate, right? I mean, yeah, there's a seminar book. Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah. I mean, hey, man, you wrote a book. I get it. Let's listen to that again.
To the divine, and this is where I try to get scientific, for lack of a better term. I try to understand the quantifiable. Can you have a connection to the divine? Does that fix the deep hurt? It doesn't. The neurological stuff is up here. The psychiatric stuff is up here. Connection to the divine.
Yeah.
If you have a...
Yeah. So I think that's true. So I think you can have an intellectual issue, right? I don't understand something, right? Then it's not a spiritual issue, not an emotional issue. But you could have an emotional issues, and like you were abused or neglected, or whatever, which also isn't a spiritual issue. Can spiritual stuff help? Yes. Can intellectual stuff help? Yeah. You learn how to cope, and you learn some ways to deal with it, and then you've got and that helps you with emotional stuff. Same thing with spiritual. You got spiritual issues, then knowing more about God will help, and getting more emotionally mature will help. Learning that He loves you, that's an emotional thing, and an intellectual thing, right? Your body, if you were completely a mess, it's going to make you sadder. It's going to make it harder to think, things like that. So they are connected, but they are also different. And so you can have, like, God can gift you with the ability to sing, to be super, charismatic, and then you go use that for completely selfish ends. It can still be a gift of God, still be something that is an intangible gift, but that you use for bad, because they aren't necessarily one-to-one.
Mental illness, we can fix it by working on the stuff up here with CBT and medications and things like that. That doesn't give you the connection to the divine. Both of these things can exist in parallel. And since they're egotistical, they fall into the traps of cults, right? They start to get paid.
Financial advice promos recently, which was promoted. Yeah. I mean, tis the season, right? Like, everybody's going to be going into taxes. So it's time to get your head, trying to figure out how to perform miracles with your money. Yeah.
Paranoid, they start to get afraid, they get addicted to power. That spark of the divine is there, but all the mental stuff is still on top. That's where a cult comes from. Once you discover this true aura, a lot of things about you change, right? So if you go down the wrong route, you'll end up as a cult leader. But I think there are a lot of things about you that are going to be different. And if you guys have met someone who has true aura, you sort of may get this. The first thing that happens is these people tend to get ick resistance. So the rest of the world is very sensitive to ick. Oh, I don't want to hang out with people who are losers. I'm going to chase clout. I'm only going to hang out with people I want, like, big invitations, and like, if I'm an influencer, I want VIP treatment wherever I go. And like, oh yeah, there's like the icky people down there and there's the strong people up there. The majority of people that I've encountered have an immense amount of ick resistance, because all of that social crap does not matter once you are connected to the divinity within. You start to see it as like, okay, this is all just the weird fucking drama of like people who are trapped in their own egos and trying to get ahead in the world.
I think that's very true. I would phrase it as, if you've been through some crap, like some really bad stuff, your priorities change. You walk into a place and everything that, like, the trivial looks very trivial. The foolish looks very foolish. The wasteful looks very wasteful, right? Like it's not like you're not anti-fun. It's not like, wow, people are enjoying themselves. I hate that. No, but it's more along the lines of that is like what you're doing is so immature or stupid or whatever that I'm not, there's no part of that that's going to pull me in. Younger me who hadn't been through so much would be tempted maybe, but I'm beyond that desire. Because I've had to deal with so much more. I think that's true. Like you're going to see the world in a different way, and it's going to be I think. Well, there's the Jake Paul fight that just came out, and then the Andrew Tate one, and the Logan Paul one, before that. If there are people who can't not watch it, man, they have to watch it. It's got to be, and for them, it's all they want to talk about, and it's all they want to, whatever. But for others who have been through some stuff, who have some deep responsibilities, who have been through suffering, been through misery, been through sickness, been through fear, been through oppression, been through, stuff that is really deep. They look at that and they just see this, just a stupid, wasteful spectacle that has no purpose for being, right? They look at things like that and they don't see it. They see it for what it is, right? Manipulative and false and lies and fake and purposeless and ultimately just vanity. It's all vanity, right? That's what they see. It's just because of their experience. I think that's exactly what. There's a benefit of suffering because it does help you prioritize life and see things in a better way. Like Ecclesiastes is sort of like that, and he does it the other way. He tries all the pleasures of the world, and he finds out that all of that is useless compared to knowing God. I think the opposite's true too. You go through a whole bunch of really terrible things, and then you realize what actually matters. What actually matters, what you can really count on, or what's wasteful and what's stupid. I think he's right in that sense.
World and stuff like that. With the ick resistance comes compassion. And this is where if you really pay attention to people who have ick lack compassion. These two things cannot coexist, right? Ick is when I reject a person and I'm not able to see, okay, there's a fundamental good human being that's underneath all the ick, and that's the person that I should have compassion for. And this person may evoke the ick, but imagine what their life is like. If they're evoking the ick and all these other people, they must be so lonely. And so this sense of compassion also comes in the Eastern traditions. We sort of say that, okay, each of us has this spark of divinity. And one of the ways to develop this compassion is to recognize that every person has a spark of divinity. And so all the ick that you're seeing is just the crud on the surface. It's like there's a diamond.
Christians do this too, right? The way that we phrase it is, our enemy is not flesh and blood. Our enemy is the principalities and powers. Our enemy is sin. Our enemy is spiritual, right? We look at people and we are told in Scripture, it isn't like the reason that Jesus could from the cross forgive is because he didn't see Pharisees. He saw, the enemy. He saw Satan. He saw sin. He saw the effects of sin, the curse, and going, well, yeah. If they knew, if they understood what they were doing and who they were doing it to, they wouldn't, but they don't. They are blind and they are foolish and they are lied to and they are sheep without a shepherd, living in the dark. And he had compassion for them. We're told to do the same, right? We're told to do the same when it comes to seeing people and going, yeah, it's not them. It's, it's the sin within them. So, spark of the divinity, made in the image of God. I wouldn't say from the sense of the Eastern religions, but more along the lines of there's something, deeper, whatever that is, right? Something beyond the mere flesh. Spirit. We'd call the spirit. So yeah, but I don't know if it's necessarily God, but it definitely there's something beyond. You got to remember, most of the world is religious. Most of the world believes in God. The vast majority of the world believes there's a God, or that it all came from somewhere that wasn't us, and that that's it's an aberration on earth to believe that everything came from nowhere. There's no purpose to anything. There's no God. There's just everything just showed up and then we'll just disappear one day. We're all space dust. That's actually a weird thought. Like that isn't normal. For us, it's we're surrounded by a lot of that stuff because of our media and whatnot. But everywhere else in the world, God is assumed. We all argue about who it is and what it's all about and how to connect to all the rest of the all that stuff. But there's no denial of the fact that there's something going on that is beyond mere flesh. All right, say goodnight for sure.
That has been at the bottom of the ocean for a while and has accrued a lot of like junk on top. But if we pick it up and if we clean it off, there is divinity to be found within. The last thing that I want to say is I'm going to be honest.
I think he is deliberately speaking in a way to let people interpret in whatever way they want. That to me is the dangerous part. I'm going to tell you how divinity works, but I'm not specifically talking about God. If it doesn't sound like God, we're just not talking about the same thing. Yeah. I think it is weird. I think it's kind of cool that he's willing to talk about it, because as a scientist or someone with a diploma on the wall, it's hard to kind of go. Also, God, it's odd, but at the same time, if he's not going to land on this is the one true God, and he doesn't have that fundamental belief in the one true personal God of the universe who created everything and that we can know through Scripture, then it's going to be general. Right, because he doesn't know what he's talking about. Even in the other religions, like, what are you seeking? The divine. What does that mean? I don't know. What are you seeking in the like we're trying to get nirvana. I'm trying to get to some version of self. I'm trying to do self-denial. Well, where are you headed? I don't know. What's going to happen in the next world? I don't know. I don't even know if I've done enough. I might be reincarnated as a cricket. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. And if that's your framework, then you get the concept of divinity, or there's something going on inside of you bigger than yourself. There's a spiritual world out there, but you can't define it because you don't know what it is. So you're stuck to talking in generalities. And I think we can agree on a lot of it because he's right. All humans have a spiritual nature. When we go through really, really bad stuff, we come out the other side and we're going to be a different person. And it will clarify how we treat people and how we see people and how people see us and how we affect the world. And it will connect us to something that is deeper than merely that we can generate all on our own. That's all very true, right? Everybody kind of agrees with that. Even the atheist would agree that going through bad stuff and coming out the other side is going to make you a different person. It's just the disconnection of kind of going, okay, this is solved once you understand there's a person that everything's focusing towards. Once Jesus comes into the equation, it all crystallizes. It makes sense, right? Like, oh, the reason we go through this stuff is because there's a purpose. The reason that things change is because we're becoming more like him. The reason that we see things differently is because he's showing us what the world is like. The reason we have these instincts is because he created us. The reason that we love at all is because he first loved us. We understand common grace. Like, it all starts to focus. It makes sense. It becomes logical. But if you don't have that, then yeah, it's all going to be like very, very general and confusing. Divine, but I also don't know. Yeah, this is how it works in my personal belief. Apply it to your own belief. Yeah, yeah. Please, some of the people, some of the time. Mother Goose likes to say that if reincarnation was real, you want to come back as one of my cats. No, thank you. No, thank you.
This is where real aura comes from. I think it comes from basically a failure of all of your emotional and intellectual and social defense mechanisms.
What?
Sort of say that, okay, each of us has this spark of divinity. And one of the ways to develop this compassion is to recognize that every person has a spark of divinity. And so all the ick that you're seeing is just the crud on the surface. It's like there's a diamond that has been at the bottom of the ocean for a while and has accrued a lot of like junk on top. But if we pick it up and if we clean it off, there is divinity to be found within. The last thing that I want to say is I'm going to be honest. I think this is.
And there's the biggest part, the biggest difference, I would say, is that for him, the salvation or the divine or all the good is there to be discovered. In the Christian theology, it is something to be given, right? It's something to be given. As in, the diamond is still a diamond, but you can't go find it, right? It is, I recognize, God, that I'm not a diamond. I don't have a diamond. I don't know how to access the diamond. I don't know where the diamond comes from. Don't know what it's made of, but I do know that I need it. And I know that the only person I can get it from is you. And I know that the only way that you're going to give it to me is through my submission to you and believing that you are the one who everything's about and for. Like, God, this only comes from God. So therefore I'm dependent on him. I want to be in a relationship with the only one who can give me the diamond, right? That is Christianity. This idea that you can go kind of find it and then it's built in somewhere is going to make you crazy. It makes you crazy, because as soon as you, like, how do you know you had it? When did you know you have it? If the solution is suffering, you become an ascetic. If the solution is religion, you can join a cult. How do you know when you've gotten the diamond? You don't know. It has to be a gift. It has to be something that someone else bestows to you, that cleans you up. He's the one that takes away the junk. How do you know you cleaned away the junk? How do you know the difference between a really nice piece of junk and your diamond? Right? Maybe you grab this really cool looking rock out of your soul and we're like, this is it. And it's not. Maybe it's a piece of, maybe it's, iron pyrite or whatever, zinc zirconium, cubic zirconia, right? You just don't know. Yeah. What if you get more junk later? Exactly. What if it, all that kind of stuff. That's why you need external influence. That's why you need God. That's why you need Jesus. That's why you need the Holy Spirit, is because all this stuff can't be done by ourselves. It's not intrinsic within us to be able to accomplish this. It requires external stuff, right? In the same way he would say, like, working through all of your issues all by yourself is impossible. You need to talk to somebody. You need to work it through. You need to talk to a counselor. You might need medication. You can't do it yourself. You can't, right? It's just not going to work. In the same way we believe salvation is that, but 10 bazillion times more. Yeah, fellowship, community, exactly.
Is where real aura comes from. I think it comes from basically a failure of all of your emotional and intellectual and social defense mechanisms that keep you intact. But I would highly recommend that you do not go looking for it. Even if you're listening to this video and you're like, how do I find this? I want this. So this is what's so tricky, is your wanting that comes from your ego, right? And if we go back to the dark...
Now we're getting into Buddhism. Here we go.
Comes from your ego, right? And if we go back to the dark night of the soul, we see that a key part of this is the dissolution of that ego. So even if you are hungry for it, that's not going to work. So, like, I don't know if
that's
it's kind of
super not what that says. Not what that says. That's not what that's about. One person's, I found my diamond can look different from the others, but the Bible sets forth what forgiveness, repentance, and fruits spiritual. Yeah, that's true too, right? It's yeah. How do you even know you got it? I think you should pursue it. You should go, I don't have it. I'm not a diamond. I don't have my diamond. I need this. But the problem is going to be when you go pursue this, especially with, Dr. K's recipe of go be the most miserable you've ever been in your entire life until you are completely broken. And then maybe when you come out the other side, you might feel better unless you become a cult leader, is not a great recipe, right? It's the recipe has to be recognition that you cannot find it. You don't have the ability to find it. This is not something you can create or that you can do or that you can find. It has to be something that is shown to you, right? Is shown to you. I've talked about this as my image of salvation, basically like, is it, Calvinism versus, like free will versus whatever. It's the way that I picture how salvation works is you are alone in a dark room and you are eating. And all of a sudden a door opens and light floods into the room, and you look and you see what you're eating, and you see that it is garbage and refuse and yuck. Hey, Lady Anna, you felt sick, you didn't feel right, but it's all you knew, right? And it was filling you. It wasn't great, but it was what it was. And every now and again, like maybe it was a little less worse. But now that the light turns on, you look down and you see yuck. And then you were invited to, do you want to come have real food? Now, who gets the credit for that? Right? Well, who gets the credit? Well, God opened the door to show you. God is the one who, hey, Amelia, God is the one who allowed you to see that you're eating muck. You're the one that stood up and left the room to go into the other room to eat real food, right? Because you determined that it was sin, but it was the light that determined that it was sin to show you that. Like, there's a lot going on. I agree, it's not a perfect illustration. But within this, right, if you're in a dark room and you're eating and you're trying to make yourself feel better and you're trying to get to a better place, how? You're in the dark. You need someone to shine the light. You need someone to show you what's going on. And the only one who's going to be able to show you is the divine, is God. That's how it works. Everyone here is, but how many people don't have enough knowledge of God to see what is off? Huh? What here is, how many people don't have enough knowledge of God to see what's off? Yeah, that's true. Glad everybody reacting to the same way I do to him. Yeah, interesting, cool. No, wait, that's not right. Oh, but the other thing is a good point. That's what happens when a lot of all truth is God's truth. But the trick is that you're going to, it's all messed up by our own personal ignorance and our own personal sin, our own personal desires, our own biases, all the rest of that stuff. It's hard to dig through. Hey, Lady Anna. It's hard to pick through because I think he's right about some stuff, and I think he's missing the mark. You know what I mean? Like it's like he's dancing around. He's like in I guess he's in the ballpark, but he's not playing ball, right? Like he's in the stands somewhere, and he's telling everybody how to play baseball, and is like, well, where are you? Well, I'm on in the nosebleeds somewhere. I'm sitting in a chair. I can observe baseball, and I've seen some. It's far away and blurry. I'm not exactly sure what's going on down there, but like there's definitely baseball, and I'm going to explain it to you. Whereas, if you talk to somebody who is a faithful Christian, understands the scripture, has actually spent some time with God and been through some stuff, you're talking to a baseball player. You're talking to somebody who's like, okay, listen, I can't tell you the whole story because I haven't been a pitcher and I haven't been a catcher, and I don't know what it's like. I've been playing left field. I can tell you from left field what baseball is like, and I could get a lot closer than the guy up in the stands who can see it from far away. I can't tell you the whole thing, but I can definitely tell you a lot more, right? I'm still learning, right? You should talk to the coach. You should talk to the rule maker, talk to the umpire. Now we'll work this out together.
Sense. If you're hungry for it, you're trying to be great. But the people who have true aura are not great. They may be measured as great from the outside. That's not what they strive for, and that's not what they feel within. They simply are. And there's plenty of evidence around psychedelics and ego death and stuff like that sort of correlates with this, right? So we have some science to back it up. But I would say don't go chasing this thing. And this is where, a lot of y'all may say, so I've worked with a lot of people who are very depressed and very suicidal, and they're like, but Dr. K, haven't I hit rock bottom? And it's like, not really. I hate to say.
That's rough from a counseling perspective. I've been a counselor for a long time. It's like, haven't I suffered enough? Apparently not. It's terrible, but kind of, you know what I mean? Like it's, have you learned yet? Have you figured it out yet? Yeah, no. That sucks, but it's true. Hello, Lady Anna.
This, but the people who are very depressed and very suicidal are almost moving in the wrong direction. So they have a lot of these weird psychological defense mechanisms that really keep them from rock bottom. For many people, their sense of depression, anxiety.
Let me pause here. And one thing about rock bottom that's true in Canada, I'll speak from Canada. Canada works hard to make sure you never hit rock bottom. Okay. It's built into the system. So my son is a great example. He went cuckoo and became abusive and whatever. Ended up in a mental hospital. Ended up being, violent and just not good. So at some point, he didn't have anywhere to live. The hospital was kicking him out. He couldn't come home because he'd made threats to kill us all. And so therefore, now he's 15 years old, almost 16. And he is going to, he has to leave the hospital. That was an opportunity to hit rock bottom. Oh, wow, I'm going to be standing in a parking lot by myself. I should probably reevaluate my life. Nope. Government comes in and says, hey, would you like to be emancipated from your family? We'll pay for you. We'll pay for your house. We'll pay for your food. We'll pay for everything. We'll give you a place to live. And he's like, sure. So they took him and they moved him into foster care, and he stayed in like a bunch of different houses, making everybody miserable, getting kicked out of like 20 of them until they're like, okay, now you're 18. So you've aged out of the program, and okay, cool. Like, now what am I going to do? You think that would be a chance to hit rock bottom, right? Well, now I'm no longer a youth. I'm now an adult. I have to start making my own decisions, and I don't have a job, and I don't have education. I don't, I'm not making good decisions, et cetera, et cetera. Boy, oh boy, I better get my life together. Nope. Government comes in and goes, how'd you like an apartment? We'll pay for it, and we'll set you up so that you have, job and of some kind. So he goes, he's like, I don't want to go to my job. Okay, well, now you have an apartment. Well, I guess we'll pay for some stuff. What are you going to do with your money? And he's like, oh, well, I'm going to go buy drugs. And they, it's like, okay, well, here's it, Canadian government. Okay, here's the needles, and here's the spoons. They're safety spoons, so you can mix your drugs properly and heat up your drugs properly. And here is, the safest way that you can get addicted to heroin, according to the Canadian government. And here you go. It's all for free. Come on down. We'll give you more money for it later. And like, at no point is he hitting rock bottom. Eventually he overdoses and dies. Would he have been saved if at some point he had to hit the bottom? But the fact that he was prevented from doing it for a very long time meant that at no point did he really have to face the consequences of rock bottom. And we're doing that to everybody. Everybody's like, man, I don't want to have to work. And so, okay, then, here's this program and that program, instead of, you have to work. Otherwise you're going to be, you're going to lose your house. Well, no, I'll just not work. I'll do the government thing and I'll claim bankruptcy, and I'll use one of the million safety nets we have. And I believe in having safety nets. I'm thankful for them. Like, for example, I wouldn't be able to do what I do if it wasn't for the fact that there was disability safety net, right? Just, it's not possible. It helps out. There are some people out there who literally can't work, who really, after they get pregnant and they have a baby, they need some time, they need some money, they need to be taken care of. Good. I'm glad, but there's also people who will abuse it, and they'll never have to hit the skids. I think rock bottom is necessary, but I also think it's incredibly difficult to hit. Are our safety nets causing more harm? Maybe not more harm, but some people are given help that they don't need. In fact, you look at 2 Timothy, right? They talk about widows. If it basically, like, listen, if you've got widows that are miserable, gossiping, like turds, and they could keep coming to the church and they want food, but they are contributing nothing but misery to everybody, don't feed them, right? That's the Bible. Why? Because it's the only way they're going to learn how to become one with the people, how to not be a jerk face, how to live with society, how their consequences of their own actions are causing issues, how they should maybe go out and find a job or whatever. The only way is for them to be hungry. It's in scripture too, right? Maybe he might have learned, but there's no guarantee he would have been saved by rock bottom. You can do all. That's true, right? Exactly. I'm not saying that it's guarantee, but to Dr. K's point here, right? The idea is he never did. Maybe you haven't hit rock bottom. Wonder if we could keep the necessary safety nets, but incorporate education inducing a fear of rock bottom. If no, I think the only way that it works is experiential. We talk about it all the time. It's like every commercial, like don't do drugs. Drugs are bad. Don't smoke. Smoking's bad. Don't, like here's be careful. With like all the commercials, use your brain on drugs. It's if you don't experience it, then some people have to experience it. Yeah, some people don't want to be fixed, but they keep doing the things, but they'll stop. The idea is you stop doing the things when the things you're doing are making it worse. Because right now, drugs, alcohol, whatever your thing you're making yourself miserable is less worse than the alternative, right? And it's not healthy, it's not good, but not doing it is worse than doing it. It has to at some point make it so that doing it is worse than not doing it. And that is a change that has to happen. I think the only way it can happen is experientially. I don't think that could be something you could talk to somebody through.
Whatever the negative things that you want to get rid of are actually very, very strong protective mechanisms that your brain has evolved to have, and they're pathological, so it's not like they're always balanced or good for you or things like that. And I've worked with people who are suicidal and are suffering very, very immensely. That's where I don't have all the answers yet, but it feels different to me. So if you're someone who longs for true aura, I would be careful, right? So I wouldn't recommend that you...
In his definition, be careful, yeah. Because the recipe is make yourself and everyone else around you as miserable as humanly possible. But the if you are longing for connection to divine, it's offered. Jesus offers, would you like to be connected to me through this Holy Spirit? You want to be with me forever? It's there, right? Some people already choose the worse than option though, because their irrational fears are conditioned reaction tell them it's a better option. Yeah, that's my point. They still think it's a better option. That's my point. That switch has to happen. That's just how it works. I felt the verge of rock bottom, though maybe even that wasn't. I still would have had a van to live in. I was given here's help so you don't fall that far. But the fear of falling further made me really appreciate what I was given. Yeah. So I think not everybody has to hit the rockest of rock bottom. There's like some people really learn, I think the way God works is that he's like, okay, I'm going to write it in the Bible and just follow that and you'll be fine. And then other people, they don't, they're not going to listen to that. And then they're like, well, the pastor said, my mom said, my dad said, this, and that was, this is how I'm supposed to be, well, I'll listen to that. Fine. Have you ever done this thing? No, because my, pastor, mom, dad in the Bible said no. So I'm not going to do that. It's, but other people, they're not going to listen to that. And so they hear their teacher and they maybe they even do the bad thing once and then they feel gross afterwards. Like they feel guilty and shameful and bad. And, they're like, wow, yeah, I really do feel bad. That lesson, some people learn right there. Okay, I'm not going to do that ever again. Whatever that was. That's enough of that. And some people, they don't learn. And so they have to do it again. They start losing friends and they start losing, family members and they start, really bad things start happening. And as soon as their friend and their mom and their dad are like, I don't want to talk to you ever again. You're just too dangerous and horrible and stop doing that thing. I'm not talking to you anymore. At that point, they're like, oh, wow, that's really bad. I should change. Some people don't learn then. It all along the way, you're given the opportunity to know right and wrong. Your conscience and scripture and life and the law and all kinds. There's lots of ways. Some people, they learn early what not to do. Some people, it takes a lot longer and a lot more misery before they'll learn whatever that lesson is. And some people die before they learn it.
You go finding this stuff. On the one hand, it is transformative and great, but on the other hand, I'm not sure that it's worth it for that moment. And what really scares me is I've worked with people who long for that moment, who are tired of their lives being sort of like ground down into nothing.
Who wouldn't be? Who wouldn't want that moment? We all want it. That's built into us.
And they long for a moment where they will break or be reborn. They kind of want to go all in on life, and I strongly would not recommend it. What I think is way better is going back to what we talked about originally, which is like life has bad stuff and life has good stuff, and spend your time trying to build up as much of the good stuff as you can. And
That's not how that works, man, and you know it. He knows that's not how that works. If you're talking to somebody that has mental health issues, addiction issues, is a victim of abuse, is, you know, has been abandoned, is not anywhere, somewhere familiar, is struggling with schizophrenia, it's like, as whatever, and all that stuff, and you just look at it, well, have you tried just doing things that are better? You should do things better. You know, maybe, you know what? If you just did more things happier than things that are not happy, you'd feel a lot better. That's not how that works, dude. That, I don't even know what he's talking about now.
Reduce as much of the bad stuff as you can. I think that's the best way to live life. Because if finding true aura is in your destiny, it's going to happen to you anyway.
Yeah. Okay. That was it was really interesting, and then there was some gobbledygook, and then it was interesting, and then there was some gobbledygook, and yeah, that's how I figured it was gonna go. But I think it was a worthy discussion, you know. Yeah, you can't control it. What you can control, you control what you can control, but maybe someday you'll become you'll have a spark of the divine. Maybe. Who knows? Like, man, that's hopeless. What a hopeless message. Like, your misery may never go away. Your misery may have meant nothing. Your misery may just get worse and worse and worse, and you never hit rock bottom. In fact, rock bottom might not exist for you. You might just feel horrible. And then even if you hit rock bottom, maybe you won't get the spark of the divine. Maybe you just don't. You know, maybe it's all useless, and then you die, and everything was just the worst. Maybe that's how it goes. Like, yuck. What a terrible, terrible life. Christianity's way better than that. All right, it's 2:00 on the nose, almost exactly. I'm gonna go get myself some water, and I'm gonna get myself a little bit of lunch. I'm gonna come back, and we're going to play some Expedition, some Excel. Let's play Excel. Expedition 33, and we're gonna have some fun with that. So talk amongst yourselves, and I will talk to you very soon. I think I got to use a controller. Hello, welcome back to me. You didn't leave, I left. Let's fire this thing up. Why? Look at all my stats. Why do I have stats? Razer just decides to do things now. You know that? It just decides to do things. All right, I don't remember what I'm doing. I haven't played since you and I played last, so we'll see how this goes. I can't even remember what I'm looking for. I guess we'll just wander around till we see something we're supposed to see. That was screen tearing. All right, fix now, I guess. Odd. I know there's a lot of fights in this game, but we're gonna try looking for stuff. Catches a tree. Wow, that's crazy, man. We're looking for the hidden village. I know that's what we're trying to do, even though it's extremely hidden. I don't think I can go up here. No. Where are we gonna go? Let's go this way. I start the game lost. Please forgive me. I'm not trying to be lost. Oh wait, I have to change my thing here. Hold on. My category. There. And now we're in mature mode and nobody can actually see my stream. I'm not, once you're in mature, they don't like showing your stream. Let's go this way. Oh. They wanted to get rid of that screen. Apparently it's not possible. Some of these paths just don't go anywhere. All right, fine. They sure look like they want me to, though. You know? Like, I can leap, but then I get stuck. So much for a hallway game. Oh, I've been down this kite place before. Ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. All right. That looks important. I don't think we've crossed there yet. We'll come back. Let's take a look down this little path. That also looks important. I'm gonna do the path. Do over here first. Because that looks like it's not story related. Can I not get there? Oh. Well, never mind. I guess we gotta go around. I hear something. Ooh, bad guy. What do I do with you? I could try shooting you. That might tick somebody off. Are you coming at me, bro? Oh, he is. Okay, we'll kill him first.
Chroma is full.
Okay. It's all going very well. I forgot to shoot the things out of his hand. Oops. Cool. Now I'm gonna hit him. It's like a kid in a blanket. I know, right? I think that's literally what it's supposed to look like.
Finesse and grace.
Well, that worked out.
Brace yourself.
Wait, you didn't die? I dodged it. I remembered there was a dodge button. Did do that last time. Pillow blanket forts were the bomb back in the day. You think that's just a pillow fort coming to attack us? Might be. Is that where I came from? Feels like where I came from. Yeah. You're like realizing how reminiscent the music is for this area to Nier Automata when you're in the robot village. It's a very similar feel. I don't think I can get that. No, it's not a grabbable edge. Come on, come on, come on. No. All right, we'll go around. Because the purple must be gotten.
It'll be useful.
Sure will. All right. I'm gonna go around. That comes from the left, so we're going this way. I don't have much to say because I'm just trying to find my way places. Oh, is that a thing to go up? No. Ew. Can I climb that? No. I go under it, but I can't climb it. Haha. 114. What did my daughter say to me today? Dad, do you know that it's the 23rd or 22nd today? You know how close that is to Christmas? I'm like, oh yeah, that's a very good point. Not that it does much for me. Like, there's only so many things a guy can prepare. I think we're ready to go. Yeah, we're gonna go this way. This is definitely where it came out. Yay! Man, I'm really lost in video games.
Nice.
Not this time. At least I'm less lost. Oh, let's go in there. Nice.
This will be useful.
Feel like I'm winning. Well, that's a scary bad guy I haven't seen before. Maybe we should go the other way. Because we came from that way, and I think there was another option. Like we go down. Yeah, we can go down this way. Which definitely is scarier. Oh. Oh, he attacked me because I punched the ground? That's very unfair. Ow, okay.
Brace yourself.
Okay, sure. I missed. Why won't you die? Come on, arm, fall off. Ow. Am I on fire? I am on fire. Stupid. I'm getting worse, I think, maybe. All right, first thing first, we're gonna have, status effects. Yeah, I know. Let's heal.
Where's he going?
What did he do? He set me on fire. Okay. Cool, I guess.
Finesse and grace.
Chroma's flowing.
Yeah, I'm still on fire. That sucks. How about Thunderfall? He probably likes that. No. Wildfire. You don't like fire.
Get ready.
Okay. What? I'm getting my butt kicked. Dodging is hard when you're playing in regular mode. You killed the blanket fort's older brother, Pillow Fort. Yeah, it's true, I did. Week 26 is a weird week for me, since I get 20. Oh, okay, yeah. Do you guys do Boxing Day? You guys don't do Boxing Day, so 26 means nothing to you. We get Boxing Day. No reason to take it off. Yeah. Yeah, I get it. I'm in trouble. Yep. I saw somewhere to park over here. Pretty sure. Saw a flag somewhere. Where'd I see it? Over here? I swear I saw it. All right. I really need a rest. I need a flag. Finding all the coolest things. Energizing start. I wonder if I need to reevaluate my dudes here. Let's see what we got. Because we got a bunch of level 1 stuff. I'm sure I picked up better things. Because I've got level 3, 1, and 3, and I got level 4 stuff here. So energizing start. What does that do? +1 AP on battle start. Yeah, that's probably good. Let's replace that one. Cool. That adds health. Okay. And anything else? Good. No. Okay. Let's look at our pictos. Do I have anything? 3 AP on killing an enemy? Yeah, we're gonna do that. Cool. Now I have 4. I don't know how this works. Now I have 2. Now I have 4. What? Oh, because it's turned on. Oh, I'm dumb. If it's black, it's turned off. If it's purple, it's turned on. I was literally thinking the opposite. I think my brain is cooked. All right. Go to this dude. What do you got? 433. Burning mark. Speed critical rate. No, I don't think. I think I'm good with this. Okay, federal holidays. The government employees get it off, but I'm a contractor. So, oh, I see. Yeah. I'm taking an extra time between Christmas and New Year's. I need all the time. Yeah, for what you want to do next year. Yeah, good call. And like you said, you're gonna have a little hangout with your family, and it'll be fine. So yeah, what's the? Yeah, I agree. If you don't need it, you don't need it. Okay, I need to change my level here, man. Energizing jump. What does that do? Oh. More health. Okay. Level 2 augmented attack. I could do level 4 burning mark. What is this? Defense and speed. Oh, well, sure. Why not? Good enough. How about your luminas? Any good luminas over here? Am I turning on luminas right now? I'm good. That's enough. I'm confusing my poor tiny brain. But I do need to rest. So we do need to find ourselves a map. Oh, there's no map. My school holidays though. Time off with no purpose. Just finding stuff to do. I don't even know what time off is anymore. Like my life has no rhyme or reason because I don't have a job that gives me time off. Well, I was a pastor. Like I didn't take time off for anything. Like Mondays were my time off always, and Mondays were the day that they always gave time off. So I worked all the same holidays. Like literally nothing. Whoop, hello. I've been in here. I've already been in here once. Yeah. I am at the beginning of the game, beginning of the entire level. That's okay. Gives us a chance to rest. I mean, it's good because I can actually take time off if I want to, but I always feel like I shouldn't. And when I do, it's only because I'm desperate. So, you know, that's not good. We'll put it all on agility. Cool. You've got 3. How about might? Might, and luck. Vitality, might, luck. Cool. And skills. You had 1. That's not going to do anything for anybody. 6. Yes, that's what we need. What are you? Fire ray deals increasingly high fire damage. This one is deals high earth damage. Enemies increasingly high fire damage until Luna receives damage. Stuns self if interrupted. Oh, that sounds dangerous. Break damage. Oh, we definitely need break. Okay, we're gonna get this. Cool. Now we need to put it somewhere. Crustal Crush. Medium, low earth damage. Okay, we're gonna switch it with that one. Nice. Cool. Yep, no reason to do it either one of you. So that at least I gave one of my characters a little boost. I'll have to remember to use it. Okay, we're gonna go try to find this place. Whoops! Almost fell off a cliff. I already beat this guy. And okay, good place to save. Cool. There's a bell. Probably should head for that bell. Hello. Goodbye. No, we came this way. We're gonna go this way. Can't get up there, so we'll go this way. I think this makes sense. Oh, I went the exact opposite way when I came down here. Maybe that's why I did it wrong. I was supposed to go this way. Okay, now I got myself lost. Darn. Is there no way across there? Like if I leap off, I can't leap off to get down there. And I can't use X to get across, so I think we're just gonna have to walk through this area. Yeah, all right. Oh, this I don't think we found yet. Okay, we're in new territory now. Cool. I found the bell. Hooray. Does that mean I found the village? Oh, there's a way out right there. I don't want to get out. Intruder alert, intruder alert. Send forth the ultimate weapon. Another chance to test the ultimate. We don't care if they're human. We're gonna test our thing.
They sound like kids.
We must be getting close to the village.
Well, hey there.
Kinda looks the same as all the others.
Hey, don't get cocky, Maya. Look at its equipment. That looks a lot more dangerous than the others. No, seriously.
All right, here we go.
Get ready.
I parried twice. That counts for something. Luke team wondering, look. Looking for a level what? What? It is a blind. Yeah, you're right. It is a blinding port. You're right. All right, so we're gonna aim for the glowy bit. Cool. Skills. We're gonna use our new. Oh, we can't use wildfire. Okay, well, we're just gonna attack then. Electric resistant, because it's wood. Okay, I can't hit because he's got a shield, so I'm gonna have to just try to set him on fire, I guess. Yeah. Tried.
Take cover.
Oh, is that a jump? Am I supposed to jump on that one? Yeah, I'm supposed to jump that one. Okay, I'll learn. I'm learning. There we go.
A storm is coming.
Now I can use rock slide. Let's see if it works. It did something. Not much. I think these guys just don't like fire. I think that's just the way to go. All right, here we go. Ready?
Ready to evade. Danger.
Ow. Tiny Chef Universe fighting game. I'd play that, sure. Let me tied to a school holiday schedule, but enough friends and family are. Yeah, exactly, right? Exactly. I know exactly what you mean. Can't do anything with this guy.
Brace yourself.
That was something.
Hurt.
I parried.
Danger.
I did it. I jumped. I hit the right button. I have something called shatter. What does that do? Lightning. Doesn't do nothing. Oh, I can heal myself if I burn him. All right, let's see how that goes. Nice. That's fun.
Feel the burn.
At some point, this guy's gonna die, correct? Here we go. Oh,
Danger. Ready to evade.
why does he get so many turns? That doesn't make any sense. There we go. I mean, I keep winning, which is good, but I feel like if you know what you're doing, the new Shatterpoint is super effective. The like, if you know what you're doing, you can stack all these things up and one feeds the other. I don't know if I'm there yet, but like, there was one point I was fighting a bad guy, and I did like 7,000 damage. I just got the math right somehow, and I'm sure I can do that. I just don't know how yet.
Chef.
Gorgla, lumma via faittoru, kottara chestaral kamibori kopinna. Gorgla femikola nissu, okki.
I could probably use a shower before I meet your king, though. Oh, new Picto. What does Breaker do? Breaker 19. Breaker, what do you do? More speed, more crit, increased break. I think that's for her. There we go. Now, I assume it doesn't want me to leave, but that's the way out. So that can't be right. Like, where does it want me to leave?
Well, that will help.
Maybe it does. Did you hear E33 lost their Indie Game? 2 Indie Game Awards. Yeah. So, and I don't know, I guess it's fair enough, but it's really not fair. Like, they didn't, the theory is that they did the AI like as a placeholder and either forgot to take it out, but they also admitted like in June that they had used AI at some point. So it's not even a surprise. And depends on what do you mean by use AI? Like, we heavily, you know, relied on AI for all of our artwork. Clearly they did not, right? Clearly they did not. I don't know. I guess
Well,
you
that will help.
gotta have some kind of rules, and you know, and right now AI is not that popular with artists, so I totally get why people are grumpy about it. I think they probably handled it fine, but still, I don't know. Still feels wrong, I guess. Am I supposed to go down there? Oh. No. I think I'm supposed to leave. All right, I'll just leave then. I just hope people don't like start pooping on E33. Like, oh, I never liked that game anyway. So dumb. Like, this isn't AI. This is human ingenuity and creativity, for sure. Should I? Do I leave? Maybe. I guess we're still in the forest, technically. Ooh, purple. Just wondering if you use any off-the-shelf tools, AI baked into. Yeah, what point are you using AI? I completely agree. Completely agree.
We can use that.
Like using like I use AI sometimes when I'm like, okay, what, you know, give me 10 ideas for this, whatever it is. Does that mean I use AI? I don't think so. No, I mean, it wasn't, I don't know if they I don't know if they needed to disclose, like, because they did mention it. I don't know, depending on what you, yeah. Do you disclose what brand of paint you have to use? Like, I'm not sure what disclose would even mean. But that's the thing, it's a very hot topic. Yeah, it's exactly right. So, you know, you're kind of hosed. Hopefully that means that people will take it more seriously. Like I like AI. I think it's cool, but at the same time, after experiencing what I've experienced and seeing what I've seen when it comes to how it's being used so wrongly, and just completely just recklessly, I really pulled back on my AI use. I'm not using it for art. I'm not using it for music. I really wanted to, like, for the sake of the like my videos and whatnot. It would have been really easy to like generate my own music, but I don't think that's right anymore. Hold on, we got our first things first. We're gonna use our chroma. That's 2, and then we're gonna rest. There we go. Now we got our chroma back. Neat. I think I need to unlock some more stuff for her. Degagement. Low level fire damage. I guess it opens up a path, so you gotta use it. AI to get concept. Exactly, right? Like, you describe something, it gives you a thing, but then, you know, it's how do you use it? Is it your final, you know, final thing? And I don't think it should be your final thing. It's like you said, it's a tool. This guy's only 8.4 hours old. That's interesting. Time to train. You should train too. I'm serious. You should train. That was ominous. All right. That looks like a real guy. Welcome to the village. You're a fun-looking bunch. If you cause problems, we'll beat you up. All right, noted. I think it matters less since it's in the background and I'm not monetized. What? No, Christian AI metal is good and I use it all the time. Now I match my pace. I don't know. Depends on who they stole it from, and you don't know who they stole it from. That's to me the biggest one. Is it really is. It's so blatantly stealing now. It's not even like, oh, they just ripped off all of Spotify and then put it into a computer. It's they went and found this artist and they copied this artist so they get that artist's sound because they knew it would be popular, which is, you know. That's called stealing. All right, guy wants to fight. Everybody wants to fight. I don't want to fight.
It's really a village of Gestrels.
They seem better at surviving than humans.
I guess intelligence is not a prerequisite for survival on the continent. Now to find the chief's house. Probably the biggest one.
Well, sketching Arnie before casting him for Terminator is not the same as generating music you're actually using, right? Published it with AI textures used for placeholder art before it passed out. Oh, is that all? I don't know. Games developed using generative art are strictly ineligible for nomination, and it was discovered that developers used generative AI art assets for some placeholder textures. Despite initial claims otherwise, probably initial claims that, you know, they got rid of it all and then went, oops, we didn't. Yeah, it is what it is. I don't know, man. That was their bad for being dumb about it and not knowing, but still. I use AI for thumbnail images for blog articles, more sophisticated search engine. I'm not going to use it to generate primary content like blog posts. That's basically computer plagiarism, and I don't need a computer's help to write anyway. Yeah. I don't know. The thumbnail thing, I'm a little off on, like myself. Like I have a couple on my YouTube channel that I'm going to end up, you know, removing or whatever, because they look like AI, and I think it works against me. You guys are slow. I went too many adventures. Okay, these guys, talking to these guys is annoying. Where are we gonna go? Real gamers go left, I suppose. Are you a shop? I think a beatdown's in order. Well, hello, humans. How do you do? Enjoying the Gestral Bazaar? It's all right. Great. I'm glad our eagerness for battle hasn't scared you away. How desperate are you for clients? Oh, no, we got lots. They're just dead. Oh, bummer. Oh, nothing. It's just so the posts have some kind of image associated. I'm not an artist. I don't pretend I'm doing otherwise. Yeah. You're not like, this is my photography or anything. Yeah. Oh, I'm not criticizing you. I'm just saying that for me, I think for my YouTube channel, I think it would probably be a more hindrance than a help. So, you know. Plus the one I did yesterday, like if you look at the video I just uploaded, that's just a still image right from the video, and it worked out pretty good. All right, he's gonna give us some stuff. What do we got? Yep. Fight the merchant and get free stuff. I may as well fight the merchant. %50 increased crit chance if health is below 30%. Nah. I'm gonna fight the merchant. More fun this way. Let's let Mael do it. No, she's got more health. I think Loon got more power. We'll do her. Ludane?
I'm ready.
Ow.
The storm is coming.
Countering's fun. The timing is a little hard, which is kind of the whole point, right?
I'll do it.
Dang it. Close.
A storm is coming. Ready to evade.
Yay! I got destroyed. Give me more stuff. Yes, please. What do you got? Denominum. Do 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 do. Denominum. Do 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 do. Denominum. What do you do? Is that a sword? Level 5 sword. 128 power? Probably. Okay, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get some of the Lumina points. Yeah. I don't use recoat. I don't need critical moment. Not right now. Cool. Let's give the weapon to somebody. Probably Gustav. What with him? Denominum. Do 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 do. Cool. Can I? Okay, we're good. Pray for me. I'm just gonna go what through this guy's legs. I want to get stuff, but I got nothing to trade. Okay. Chroma. Why do you use chroma? Oh, it's part of the rebirth process. Okay. Yeah, I'm learning lots. I don't care about this land. I'm trying to care. I just don't. So much world building. Yay. Ugh. I don't want to talk to anybody. Give us all your belongings. They're ours now. Shakedown? You don't know how to pick your marks, do you? Oh, we know. Our marks are people with fat pockets. All right, we get to fight these guys now. Here we go.
Danger. Let me blow.
I thought he was swinging the other arm. We got it. We got it. Nice.
Armor is flowing.
Okay. Nothing much I can do. Guess I can shoot him a bunch.
plan. I'm ready.
That was close.
Let the ink flow.
I almost parried. Decent source for images and layout. Oh yeah, like dude, between Canva, Pixabay, Pixabay and the other one that I can't remember started with a P. There's a lot of free stuff out there that's good. It's just it looks everybody's using it and it looks like it's free. But you know what? If like Ransom said, right? Like I'm just using it to put a picture with the thing. Who cares? They're there to read. If you could just die, that'd be great. Oh, now we get to. Now they'll trade with us because we beat them. Okay, well, where are you? Over there? What do you got? Is that another sword? Oh, it's Twitch to Virio's stance and breaking any shield. Okay, that's kind of cool. So this is for. There's another weapon. I can buy that. On the other hand, AI is too ubiquitous. Breaking a fresh laptop instead of a bunch of IDEs, they all have an AI component. Makes me wonder why I'm bothering learning to code if I can just get an AI to. I mean, that's the thing. It's a tool, right? Like, it's like why am I bothered to learn cursive if you have a typewriter? It's just a tool. I don't want that. I don't want that. But I am going to give this weapon to Mail. Oh, wait, what? Did I just buy another sword? No. Did I? No. Did I buy a... What did I buy? Oh, there it is. Just blind. Okay, well, there you go. Oh, I have more luminous. Ready for me. %50 more aim damage. Burning shots. Yeah, we're gonna do that one. Cool. You got 2. Doesn't do much. 2. Cool. There. We did a thing. I guess you do need a place you can go shop. There's a big city. Hello. Want to help build? Sure. No, we're lame.
What is look, oh, what is oh, Gary. It's a kid. Totally okay.
All they're talking about is I want to fight. It's going to be a fight. This guy's going to fight. He's going to be a great fighter. That's it. You're missing nothing other than these guys like to fight. That's it. That's the whole shtick. And this guy's sad. Yeah. Ooh, rock'em sock'em. Okay, neat. Can I carry on with the story now, please? Those dudes are working out. Cool, I guess. Sure, there's somewhere I can go to talk to somebody. Oh, I found a purple. Nice.
Nice.
Now I'm in a whole nother area. Is that a casino? All right, I'm not ready to go to the casino yet. Let's go. I think I saw someone's house over here. The unbearable smell lurks away. Turn back. They're doing a play. Golly. That's a creepy door. What's your deal?
All
right, the door doesn't open, but we're gonna go open it. Hooray! Welcome to the manor. Not totally sure what I'm doing here. Can't eat anything, can't pick anything up. Can't even open that door. Okay. Well, neat, I guess. I don't think I'm part of the right story yet. Oh. Yeah, it is Sims Talk. I see. I'm in the manor that that guy was guarding. And I can come in here, and this is kind of like the home. All right, that's kind of interesting. Like it's like for quick travel. How do we get out of here? If these are all like places I can go, then what happens when I leave? Am I gonna go back where I came from? Or do I have to fast travel somewhere else? Oh, good. I'm gonna go to the casino, maybe. I don't exactly know where I'm supposed to be. Hey, Expeditioner, do you like to gamble? No. You have no interest to me. I guess the correct answer is yes. If you're trying to be the gambling type, you should be able to answer this correctly. Let's say that every time I hit, I have 50% chance of dealing 100% more damage. What are my chances of dealing more damage in the long run? I don't care. I don't care. Correct, it doesn't matter because I'm just making things more thrilling. Hey, I got it right. True gambler at heart. Oh, I got a pick though. That's nice. That worked out. Can any of them use it? Roulette. Every hit has a 50% chance to deal either 50% or 200% of his damage. Ooh. That's... What? I don't know. I like that. I'm gonna switch. I'm gonna do this just for kicks and giggles. Let me give it to him. You never know. Maybe it'll be awesome. Sometimes it'll be 200% damage. I think there's a house I'm supposed to go to. I saw a door and I'm like, I'll go to that later. And now I officially have lost that door. Hey, bro. That looks like it. Maybe. There's the bazaar. This is where I came in. And straight ahead. Chief house. There we go. Sup, Chief? You're the warriors who demolished the ultimate Sakapate.
It wasn't that strong.
No, it wasn't. Well, you've earned my respect. What can I do for you? Are you the chef? I am the chef. My name's Gulgra.
There are so many questions I'd love to ask.
We need to get to the paintress. Noko said you could help us cross the sea.
Human, still so obsessed with the paintress.
Others have passed through here.
You have your expeditions every few years. Hard to keep track. You don't have your own boat? How did you get here in the first place?
White-haired man destroyed it.
And you survived? My respect.
You know him.
He attacked the village once. Some of us survived, somehow. You have no boat? In that case, your best bet is Esqui. You asked nicely. Maybe Esqui can take you across the water.
So SKA exists.
Esqui? Of course, he lives not far from here. But only the greatest warriors are allowed through. You need a password.
Why?
Esquia is very friendly, but he could also accidentally eat you. He has nose on strings sometimes. It'd be irresponsible to let weaklings visit him.
We already defeated your ultimate Sakapatat.
Not good enough. You'll have to enter our legendary tournament to get the password. This is our way. You'll be fighting legendary warriors, so they're so old it should be easy. What is this tournament? Let's see what you can do.
The stranger.
All right. All right, you gotta go fight the stranger. You want to go to the arena directly, or do you want to beat up a few Gestrels around here first? Take it to the arena. Let's do this. Let's get done.
Way.
Look, the arena. Guess we have to enter the tournament now. Yep. Find limits all if you want to sign up. You can find them over there. All right. Hello. Sign me up. All right. Prize is a powerful weapon. Count us in. Sign you up as a team. Cool. Barrett Big Hand. Who's gonna fight? Oh, I got. You know what? How about Gustav? Just for kicks and giggles. He's gonna attack first. Let's see how this goes. All right, badly so far. Almost. Dang it.
For those who come up.
Yay, I won. Next time won't be so easy, I'm sure. All right, well, let's go. Who's gonna fight? Let's let Lune fight. Even though she doesn't have the right equipment. That was bad. All right. I'll get it one of these days.
I'll do it.
Darn.
Let the ink flow. Feel the burn.
We'll get it this time for sure. Darn. Last time. All right, I learned Illumina. Good for me. All right, let's keep going. Your opponent is one of our legendary champions, Matthew the Colossus, who's going to fight. Let's let Mayel have a turn.
Okay. On guard.
She's already doing well.
Finesse and grace.
Darn. I know, right? Hi, Samus. I was impressed too. You won? Wow. Next time won't be so easy. All right, cool. When do I get my password? Mysterious new warrior. I hope you're prepared. The prize will go to them. Who's gonna go fight? We're gonna send Mayel in again. She did great. Who single-handedly destroyed his Secapate with a backflip. Wait, is she part of our party?
Wait, that's...
See how?
What? How? You guys? You're alive! I thought I was the only one left.
So I took up cage fighting.
How did you get here? They're expecting a bit of a show. Shall we?
Okay. They get first hit. Oh, that's a cool looking weapon. All right, come at me, bro.
ready to parry.
I didn't know you were gonna do it 3 times. Not fair, but all right. And she has cards?
On fire.
Okay, ow.
Ready to parry.
And I'm marked. Great. Okay.
Precise. Strike.
Rush is a buff that increases speed by 33%. I think I better drink a drink.
Let's dance.
She might win. Or not. I might just parry the snot out of her. That could be the other way it goes. Hooray. Hey, Big Black Eye Reviews. How you doing? Dude, it's so fun. Yeah, first time playing it. Never played it before. It is crazy fun. Really beautiful. And I'm enjoying every step of the way. Especially when you do get a parry, it sure makes you feel good about yourself.
Well, that wasn't so bad.
Yeah, it really just felt like beating old people.
So it wasn't so bad.
Am I one of those old people?
One day, I hope. Hey.
How you doing,
How'd
Big
you
Black
end up
Eye
here?
Reviews? How's life? How's content?
After the beach, I ended up in an odd yellow forest, not too far from here. Had to dodge a few nevrons, but luckily I met a gestural who guided me here. What about you?
Well, I woke up next to a waterfall and...
We can talk later. Let's get back to Golgra.
But I got a cool new
Time
weapon.
to lose.
What is it? What is it? What is it? What is it? I hope it's a fancy new thing for my new player. You wish to play CL's tutorial? Yes, please. CL can apply and consume foretell on enemies. Skills that apply foretell generate sun charges. Skills that apply foretell generate moon charge. Okay. Okay. CL's starting skills are focused foretell and twilight slash. Focused foretell applies 5 foretells and generates 1 sun charge. Okay. Video games, man. It's hard. Start by using focus foretell to apply foretell and gain 1 sun charge. Okay, will do.
Here's your card.
I swear I'm getting that timing right. Using focus foretell has given 1 sun charge and applied 5 foretell. CL gets bonus effects while a sun charge or a moon charge is active. Gain 1 AP per foretell consumed. Okay. Cool, I guess. Twilight Slash consumes all the foretell on the target to increase its damage. It also generates a moon charge. Focus foretell applied 5 foretell to the target. Since CL has already used 1, casting it will give her back 5 AP. Use Twilight Slash to consume foretell and gain 5 AP. Okay. I'm not really getting what we're doing here, but
I saw your future.
we're gonna do this one. Here it comes. Dang nabbit!
Not today.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Nope. Parrying's hard. At the start of her turn, she has both sun and moon. She can go into twilight. A lot of cool things happen. Try and make the best use of Twilight to maximize fortune. Man, that is complicated. I don't want her on my team anymore. At least she's only 2 things to choose from.
Take your shot.
Darn! It's his wind-up that throws me off.
Try me.
Here it comes, here it comes, here it comes, here it comes. Amazing how jargon that makes perfect sense in context of a video game sounds like gibberish otherwise. It sounded like gibberish to me in the game, but I get your point. I got a new weapon. Who gets it? It looked like it was for Yell. Medalum. Okay. BC 191. Wait. The second room that I bought is better. Yeah, you get nothing more. Well. Oh well. I don't think I can give you anything else. Lightning, fire, and there's no point in me doing that. Can I increase the level of this one? How do I do that? It says I have things that will increase the level, but I think you can only do that at a place to rest. Am I correct? Probably. I'm usually right about everything all the time. All right, you probably have a bunch of stuff I can... Yeah, I gotta turn your pictos on. That's what we gotta do. So what do you do? All right, so stun. And... exposing attack? Sure. Never mind. I guess we'll do augmented attack and we'll do rewarding mark. Sure. Gross. Oh, gain 1 AP on a perfect dodge. That's not so bad. We'll do that one. Okay, here we go. That's cool, I guess. Now you have Lumina's. Let's do some Lumina stuff, man. Recover 50% health on base attack. Apply burn on hitting a marked enemy. Just always. That's kind of interesting. 1 AP at the start of the battle. More damage. Wow. Cleansing tint. No. Power gain 1 powerful for 1 turn on base attack. I don't actually know what to give her. Oh, no. Dealing mark damage. Okay. And then... I guess free aim damage. Sure. Because I'm just making stuff up.
Champion! Laku, get out of my way!
Get out of my way.
The password is...
Very just.
Alright, cool.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chef.
Provoke Golgruk to a duel. Yo! You have a death wish? Who are we gonna do this with? We're gonna do it with Mael. Because she can start things on fire.
Okay.
I'm gonna fight the queen. What? Well, she did warn me. Okie dokie. Bye. That was bad. Okay, never mind. I just up and dead. Got killed to death. All right. I don't know where I'm going now. What does it want me to do? Find and recruit the legendary Esqui. Okay, where's that? I don't even know where that is. Literally, I don't know where that is. Where's Esqui? I don't think, I don't even get a map. This way? You know, that's a sacred place. Huh. Oh. Wow, okay.
Interesting.
So where am I going? Should we test to see if there's actual fall damage? I bet it's that way. They need to find somebody I gotta give a password to, which means it's gotta be somewhere I haven't been. Is that you? Are you it? Doing good. My best to juggle what I need. Trying to get some more holiday streams before Christmas. Oh, good for you, man. Rock and roll. That only a couple days. Only a couple days. Are you streaming today? You gonna be streaming when I get off? In about 30 minutes? Can I raid into you? You get one hit if you deal you win a prize. Once you hit me, the battle's over. Alright, sure. I can't actually hit you with that much power.
Feel the burn.
168. Is that close? Is that close to 10,000? Apparently not. Okay. Well, we're just gonna keep wandering around like a fool until something jumps out and bites us in the butt. Hello. I don't feel like healing people today. Guess they'll all die then. Yeah, it's no big deal. You're the worst doctor ever. And why are you so big? I ate a lot of Nevrons. You eat Nevrons? Just kidding. I'm born with a terrible sickness that makes my bones grow every day. Every day I feel excruciating pain to my bones, pushing boundaries of my flesh. Every day I wish I was not born to suffer like this. So one day I decided I don't want anyone to suffer the way I do. I studied very hard, harder than anyone else, became a doctor. Even if there's no competition here, because everyone is dumb, I push myself through self-discipline, and I saved more than 10,000 of my fellow guest rolls, all the while suffering inside like no one else would. So don't tell me what I am. Don't tell me who you are, because the most horrible thing you've gone through in your life, I go through every day. All right. Sorry, bud. My bad, I guess. Can I jump over you? Okay. So not that way. And this is definitely not either. Where am I supposed to go? There's no map, right? Like when I look for a map, it just says find it. Okay. Is it like outside the world? Probably not. I'm gonna go ask the chief again. Maybe she'll tell me where it is. Well, hello again. Where's that school again? Has an S across the plains. We opened the door next to the village for you. Once you exit through the, you'll see us get death pretty quickly. Oh. It's that magic door, I think. Okay. Oh, I can upgrade? Oh, right, because she probably has a million of them. Yep, she's got 45. All right, cool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, not 21. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. There you go. And you probably have skills. Yeah, you have 14 skill points. Cool. Heals self. Applies rush to 1 to 3 allies. Okay. Deals high single target dark damage. Well, we're gonna do this one. Yeah, it looks important. Cleanses an ally of their status effects and propagates the target's buff to all allies. Nice. Let's go. Target ally plays immediately. Gains 4 AP. Yeah. She's like a magician, so we'll just keep using her. Deals high dark damage. Okay. Well. There we go. Awesome. God bless you. And for the raid offer, I'm actually going to stream later this afternoon. Okay. Waiting for my mom to get back from the doctor, visit to Houston. Then I have to get back to patching the ceiling. Bummer. Hit a snag when the water stained part started cracking and falling apart after painting. Such a scrape. Re-popcorn. Brutal. Yeah. Not just gonna go cut it out and replace the drywall. Yeah, I know. You put it out and you're like, okay, well, I guess you're not gonna make this easy. Fine. But I'm glad you're doing it. Good for you. All right, I think if I leave, I get to go to where it says I'm gonna go. Nope. You said you opened the door for us. I'm extremely confused. Food popcorn is not only messy, but yeah, you gotta wear a mask because sometimes they mix some pretty yucky stuff in there. Where's that square again? Nest across the plains. We opened the door next to the village for you. Once you exit through this door, go forward. You'll see Espionette pretty quickly. You opened the door to the village for us. No, that can't be right. We're just gonna have to find this door. Where's the door? That's obviously not the door. I heard a funky bass line. That's gotta be something. Dang it. That the gate? Oh, that's the arena. Okay. That's obviously not right. We have to get out of the village. That's not the way to go either. I'm so lost. Is this maybe the way to go? I literally don't know. Okay. I'm not coming down. Okay, cool. But that was definitely not it. That's not a gate either. That looks like a gate, but I can't get to it. Okay. That's that guy. That's where I came from. I thought I'd get clever. Okay, I don't know where to go. Complain in other games that they lead you by the nose, right? Like, what are you talking about? I need the little dot to tell me where to go. Yeah, a little learning curve. That's cool, man. At least you're doing it. That's so cool. Okay, so that is it? I'm gonna try going through this here to see if this is it. I think it might have been. I was just overthinking it. It's not an actual gate.
I still can't believe it. I lost hope after a while, but you all survived.
What was your plan if we hadn't? Be a gestural champion until your gamage?
Well, it was a lot of fun, so yeah, maybe.
Noko's quite obsessed with your arm. Your apprentices would be extremely proud knowing a gestural loves their work.
Yeah, they'd be insanely excited.
Well, they did a great job designing your arm. It was quite a creative assignment you gave them.
Well, when life gives you lemons.
Losing an arm is quite a lemon.
Yeah, it's not lemonade.
Where's my other partner? Go talk to this guy. I can't remember what he's for, but I'm sure there's something good. Oh yeah, upgrade weapons. Okay, cool. Cool. So if I oh cool, I can upgrade a lot. Sure. I don't know what element that is. Light, I suppose? She's fire. Oh no, she's got electrical. So theoretically, I should upgrade that one to level 5? Maybe? Lord, I do intend to do Home Alone stream. I watched first 2 or 3 films. Play games on December 4th. You mean January 4th. See how it goes. Yeah, I know. I hear you. You got to get the work done, and then you get to reward yourself. That's good boy, right? This one better? No. 76. 50. Oh, it is. All right, I'll pick that one, I guess. We gotta change her weapon before I forget. Cool, and then he lets you do another thing. Upgrade expedition resources. Gustav. Neat. Well, I think I'm just gonna leave it here. Yeah, we're just gonna leave it here. We're 10 minutes away, and if I start anything, it's gonna start a whole deal. So we'll just call it. At least we made it. You know what, guys? I know it doesn't sound like much, but getting through today was at least through stream today was pretty good. I'm gonna work on my YouTube channel. The plan is to get my YouTube channel to a place where it looks more pro. I think I've got some good ideas, but other than that, have you never seen them? Or last three? Oh, okay. Yeah, they get progressively worse, I understand. So, you know. Hey, there's Woof. We're good. We haven't rated Woof in a long time. Yeah. Let's do that. Have a great one. Take care of yourself. Big Black Guy Reviews. Make sure you wear a mask, man. If you don't have a mask, wear one. You're not the exception to the rule. You're also human. Not really interested either. The first one's all right. Actually, I saw a really interesting take that it's a Christian film. If you look at, you know, like what happens and where he meets a man with hands and his hands are bleeding, and it's a whole thing. Look it up. It's interesting. Give you a new interpretation. All right. Bye-bye.